We back. The gods are back. Alright, now listen, cause I ain't gonna say too much. We gonna get into this real quick. But I want y'all to know it's a lot of text in this video. But another thing I want y'all to know is we about to get into a lot. Alright, we about to get into Pangea, Atlantis, Lemuria, the origins of humans, and ancient America. Alright, ancient America. Because there's like this connotation about America where people just think this is like what they call the new world, and you know, this place ain't ancient or something, or like we don't have any type of antiquity. So before we even get into this, I'm gonna point out they not too long ago, or I don't remember the date, but you can look up the Meister print. They found near Utah a 500 million, okay, a 500 million euro human footprint near Utah. Listen, we have 500 million years of antiquity. That's all I'm gonna say. But we gonna keep it pushing here. Now, you know, we gonna start off with this little article webpage from this website called Racing History, right, by Paul Barton. Now check this out. We gonna get through this. I'm gonna try to get through this quick, all right? Because there's a lot of slides in this video. Now listen. But I'm going off. We going off. This says the earliest people in America were people of the Negritic race who entered the Americas perhaps as early as 100,000 years ago by way of the Bering Strait. Okay, that's 100,000 years ago. Okay, and about 30,000 years ago in the worldwide maritime. If you don't know what that is, that's traveling by sea. Okay, where we at? Undertaking that included journeys from the then wet and lake-filled Sahara towards the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and from West Africa across the Atlantic Ocean towards the Americas. Now, later on in the video, I'm going to get into the whole thing about them saying we, us and our people come from West Africa, because that's not entirely true, okay, when you factor in continental drifting, but we gonna save that for later. Now, across the Atlantic Ocean towards the Americas. According to the Gladwin thesis, okay, the ancient journey occurred particularly about 75,000 years ago, included black pygmies, black Negritic people, and black Australoids. Now, I want y'all to know these are the oldest people on the planet. The oldest on the planet, period, would be the Aboriginals, aka the black Australoids, some of the Dravidians, some of the people in Papua New Guinea, and where else they go? And Americas. So these are the places that the Aborigines / Australoids, okay, travel. Okay, so remember I told y'all that the Aboriginals are actually, they have like primitive DNA, which is why they have the look that they look. Now, I don't want to say Neanderthal because I don't think it's Neanderthal. But listen. Then you got the black pygmies, which are some of the genetically the most oldest people on the planet. Alright? They inhabit, like, a perfect example of a pygmy aboriginal is Gary Coleman, period. Then you got the black Negritics, who you would see like around on the islands like Hawaii. You may see them in all the Hispanic countries, alright? In the Philippines, in New Zealand. It's one of them. Philippines or New Zealand. It's one of them. So let's keep it pushing. So right here you got similar to the Aboriginal black people of Australia, parts of Asia, including India. Okay, yeah. So ancient Africa terracotta portrait, 1000 BC to 500 BC. Recent discoveries in the field of linguistics and other methods have shown without a doubt that the ancient Olmecs of Mexico, which is said to be the oldest civilization to inhabit South America, known as the She people, okay, XI is where you get the XI in the word Mexico. The word Mexico also comes from Olmec, okay? So, but the word XI, right, is pronounced she. Now, came originally from West Africa and were of the Mende African ethnic stock. Now, the thing about these Mende people, okay, their history goes back to about 4,000 BC, okay? And as you can, and I'm not saying it don't go back further, but according to what I've been reading, Proto-Mende history goes back, and they appear about 4000 BC. And as you can see here, the Olmecs have been existing for about 100,000 years or more, right? So I want to, and the reason they say, right, that there's a relation between the two, and they haven't found a DNA, similarity. They found the language and the script in South America, and they compared it to the Mande and said that they're the same people. Now listen, the Mande are not old enough, or excuse me, they're not older than the Olmecs. So I don't believe the Mande gave the Olmecs their language. I believe the Olmecs gave the Mande their language. But we gonna keep it pushing. Scripts, okay, and that whole, the script and the language thing, that's not enough. That's not enough. But keeping it pushing. According to Clyde A. Winters and others, okay, the Mande script was discovered on some of the Olmec monuments in Mexico, and were found to be identical with the very same script used by the Mande people of West Africa. Although the carbon-14 testing date for the presence of the black Olmecs or She people in is about 1500 BC. Journeys to the Mexico, okay, in the southern United States may have come from West Africa much earlier, particularly around 5,000 years before Christ. That conclusion is based on the findings of an African native cotton, okay, that was discovered in North America. Now, obviously, Africans came to America. Like, come on now. They even influenced, the Puerto Rican language, for example. That's just example. And they also mix with Puerto Ricans, which is why Puerto Ricans are triracial. Okay? But keeping it pushing. It is possible, okay? It's only possible manner of arriving here, of arriving where it was found, had to have been through human hands. At that period in West African history, and even before civilization was in full bloom in the Western Sahara, and what is today called Mauritania, one of Africa's earliest civilizations, the Zing people / empire, existed and may have lived in what was a lake-filled, wet, and fertile Sahara, where ship crisis crossed from place to place. Now keep that lake-filled, wet, fertile Sahara in the back of your mind for a while. Now Mauritania is where some of the Moors come from. Mauritania is also near Morocco, which is also where another group of Moors came from. And we know America is a Moorish country / continent. It's in the name, Mer, Moor, Lemuria, Sumeria, what else? Morocco, Tamari, Samurai, what else? Mu, the land of Mu, Queen Mu, Mercury, Mars, what else? It's so many things on this planet, and we ain't gonna say too much. Let's keep it pushing. Right here. Now, as you can see, like I've been telling y'all, the Egyptians and the Moors / the ancient people of America are of the same stock, if not similar stock, right? Now, I'm going to show y'all the MERU, the Amuru, Wachita, the Dugdamundia, MERS, which is the Aboriginal / melanated natives of the Americas, were originally a group of priests from Egypt, okay, of the West Old Egypt, also known as the Dogon, Olmecs, and Mayans, okay? Yes, there are Dogons in the Americas, okay? They've been here. The term Wachita is a corruption of Ursata, and then you got the word Wachita, which is really what they're called. But anyway, the Wachita and also Washita is where you get the name of the capital of America, which is Washington. Okay, so these are the oldest people, and their claim also is that they're the oldest indigenous people on the planet. Okay, but keeping it pushing, the Sumerian god Amuru is actually the origins to the words like Amuru, Amiru, Ameri, okay, which are root words to America. Now we ain't gonna read all this. Y'all can read that yourself. We mainly focus on this slide, on this one right here, this picture right here. So let's move this up, and this is according. This is not just according to this website. This is according to the Black Aboriginals. Excuse me, the melanated Aboriginals of America. So listen. The book and Aboriginals of America and even of Australia, because the ones from Australia is also our ancestors, okay? But listen, they don't believe they came from Africa, okay? They don't believe they came from Africa. The book Africans and Native Americans by Dr. Jack Forbes states the slave trade, and we already did the math on this on my channel a few times about the transatlantic slave trade. I don't need to keep doing that. So it's a lie. The slave trade started in the Americas, okay? In America, and the slaves were taken mostly to Spain and Europe. Remember I said that before. It was slaves taken from America to Europe, okay? Then you got the Moors of Spain, etc. And even they got colonized, all right? And some of them got, it was Moors being taken from America to Africa, and then some got brought over here, back over here. So, look, and that's part of the reason why when a lot of Americans take a DNA test, it say West Africa. Okay? When the Spanish came to the Americas, they found the Indians. Okay? The black people who are with God. Listen, Empress Verdiasi, Tiasi, Tiari, Washita, Turner, Tunica, Ghostin L. Bay, okay, the current heiress by by and through blood and supreme sovereign of the day born estate, also known as the Imperial International Estate of the Bourbon Habsburg Empire, later as a whole called the Empire of Amuru Washita de Mundia, wrote in her book The Return of the Ancient Ones that 85%, okay, right here, listen, okay, that 85% of the blacks in America were already here before the slave trade. So only 15% of blacks come from Africa. That was around that time. 15% of blacks came from Africa. We all come from Africa, but there is a suppressed history, okay, of blacks being a global people. Pangea proves that all of the continents were connected. So migration to and from Africa and other places was simple and easy. Now we're gonna get into that as well later in the video about the continental drift. Now this is the word, okay, that this is Autochthon, okay, an aboriginal or indigenous inhabitant of a place, okay, an aborigine. So this is what the black Native Americans, okay, are. This is what they are supposed to, this is what, and I don't care about labels, okay, but in a sense, this is what you should be calling yourself instead of Native American, okay, because everybody who is born in America is a Native American, okay. Anybody, it don't matter what race, ethnicity you are, if you are born in America, you're a Native American, okay. If you was born in Africa and you moved to America, then you're an African American. You cannot be born in America and be an African American. It don't make sense, okay. You have to be born in Africa and then move to America to be an African American. So nobody here is technically an African American, and I'm referring to the indigenous people. You are not an African American, okay? Keeping it put, and that don't mean that. And this video is for educational purposes. I don't care about racism. If you are still attached to your physical body and you get offended by some of the things I say in this video, that's on you. I don't care. Keep it pushing. Drop your dislike and keep it pushing. I'm not here to make nobody believe nothing. I don't listen. I talk about your bone structure and your genetics and your avatar, aka your physical body and how it was made. If what I say sound racist to you, even though I'm not saying it from a racist standpoint, I don't say things from a racist standpoint. If you feel some type of way of me commenting on your ethnicity or your group of people, keep it pushing. But anyway, yeah, autochthon. And a lot of the people, they also say this word means people who sprung from this land, sprung from the soil of this land. Okay? So when we talking about like the greatness, and I'm excluding the Gullah Wars, but we talking about the Yamasee War here. The Gullah War, we know the Gullah War, they went ham in the Gullah Wars. But right here, this is the Yamasee / Catawba Yamasee War. Okay, and this is some of these people, right? Because of you know, the colonization by the Europeans and whatnot, you know, some of these people started mating with Europeans because they felt it would make them be treated better. Alright, and so to me that's kind of sad, and I don't like to hear that, or I don't like to read that. But you know, keeping it pushing. Okay, it's a the mistreatment of the Yamasee received from English fur traders led to diplomatic missteps with respect, okay, to regulations on the part of South Carolina. The diplomatic breach between Charlestown and indigenous people, fear of enslavement, were some of the many causes of the Yamasee War. The most disruptive and bloodiest North American wars involving indigenous people. The Yamasee killed John Wright, okay, Thomas Nairn, Samuel Warner, and William Bray in the early hours of Good Friday, April 15, 1715, marking the beginning of the Yamasee War. Many settlers and natives died in battle. Okay, British traders were caught up in the conflict, and 90 out of 100 traders in the field were killed by the Muskegee, Ochusi, Alimbamu, okay, Alibamu, Tulaposa, Ebika people, along with Appalachee, Choctaw, Catawba, Cherokee, and other indigenous warriors. Okay, the Ochusi Muskogee promptly killed all the British traders in their territory. The Choctaw Cherokee in Chickasaw, followed suit, and the Ochusi collaborated with them in the summer of 1715 to make successful attacks on South Carolina settlements. Look it. History repeats itself in the attempt to suppress the warrior spirit. Keep that in, the warrior spirit, okay? In a people that have ancestrally, okay, been against oppression, and slavery continues. Those who colonize and enslave still seek to control and profit off the labor of those who have been misplaced from the family of nations. This is possibly due to the colonization of the minds of the indigenous people who have been taught they were from another country, right, and taught to hate themselves through manipulative religious doctrine, which tells us to forgive a murderer after killing our family, right, aka the gov, our women, young and elderly. Exactly, especially with, you know, trafficking. And speaking of trafficking, you know, they a few days ago, about a week or so ago, they recently deleted my adrenochrome video. They deleted that was one of the most important videos to me that I ever made, right? Out of all the videos on my channel, they took that one off. I'm not about to be playing with this this company that run this website. I'm not about to play with you niggas. That's all I gotta say. Keep on. Where we at? This time calls for a quest for all and complete freedom from the powers who function to exploit us in our ignorance and continue to experiment on the indigenous people of the earth. As the states of America operated as their own separated countries in the Confederacy, sought to succeed from the Union. Today we must declare our independence as free indigenous people. This time calls for us to succeed from an oppressive power as a new nation connected to our ancient past. of brave warriors, okay, and diplomatic delegates working to maintain our different tribes under one confederacy, the children of the sun. You know, there's my resources. Now look, this dude is said to have been the last Tasmanian. I don't fully believe that, but we gonna go with it just for this video or for this slide or whatever. Now look, this dude name is William Lane, right? And they took this dude body and cut his head off. They used his body for science. They cut his head off. And this dude right here named, what's his name right here? Dr. William Loduick Crowther. Loduick Crowther, okay? Removed his head in the name of science at the Colonial Hospital and made a tobacco pouch out of this man's scrotum. Listen, he didn't conduct experiments on this man's body because he cared about science. He was a weirdo, and he had plans to do things like this to this aboriginal. Why do I say this? He used tobacco to stuff in this man's scrotum. It's tobacco. That's poisonous, right? And you used a scrotum to make the pouch. You could have used anything on this planet besides this man's scrotum. Not only that, they've been doing things like this to indigenous people of America, like tying people to, you know, horses and stretching them apart or dragging them and cutting their scalp off. And this is, they would cut the indigenous people's scalp off. They would hunt them down and cut their scalp off and sell them for $40 to $60 and wear their hair as wigs. Okay? Yeah. They did that. Now right here, right? Now we got to talk about the people that I be calling the bright natives, the ones we see every day or that we hear about all the time, right? Again, what I'm saying in this video does not mean we can't coexist. This is all just for educational purposes, and I only do facts. Let's go. Okay, where Native Americans come from, right? And this is not referring to the melanated indigenous people. Once again, DNA, okay, from an ancient baby's skeleton show that all Native Americans descend from a single gene pool, and their ancestral roots are in Asia. A new study finds the bones came from roughly 12 to 18-month-old boy. He died about 12,600 years ago in what is now Montana. Okay? Again, Native Americans linked to ancient DNA from Europe. The DNA which comes from the right arm of a Siberian boy, okay, Siberia is in Russia, links Paleo-Americans to, and when they say Paleo-Americans, they are not referring to the dark-skinned Native Americans. Okay, they mean the Native Americans. These people are not Paleo. Okay, to Europeans, and not just East Asia as previously thought. Okay, long believed to be descendants of East Asia's ancient DNA has linked Native Americans to a Siberian boy who lived 24,000 years ago in Europe or West Asia. So you got two studies linking these people back to Asia. Now remember, I've said in old videos, I've always thought these people came from Asia. I've known this for years that they came from Asia just from doing my own research. But you can look at their phenotype, right? You can look at their phenotype and you can tell that they're Asiatic. Okay? You can tell that they're Asiatic. And they're known for traveling like nomads. Keeping it pushing. Columbus himself, according to renowned American historian and linguist Leo Weiner of Harvard University, one of the strongest pieces of evidence to support the fact that black people sailed to America before Christopher Columbus was a journal entry from Columbus himself. In Weiner's book, Africa and the Discovery of America, he explains that Columbus noted in his journal that the Native Americans confirmed Okay, the Native Americans confirmed black-skinned people had come from the southeast in boats trading in gold-tipped spears. Now, we gonna get into exactly which people he ran into later on in the video, but right here you got a map showing the lane slash path of when the bright natives, okay, I don't want to call them $5 natives because that sounds kind of like offensive. Okay, I'm not here to offend anybody, but those people did sign for $5, and those people that signed those papers for those reparations were not even the Mongolian. They weren't even the Mongolian natives. They were Caucasoid natives, and they're not even natives. You even got Italian people, right, identifying as Native American or indigenous, excuse me, but keeping it pushing, right? This is they coming from Siberia / Russia / Asia over the Bering Strait, which is right here. This is the Bering Strait, also called Beringia. Okay, and then they come into America, and this is why you got some even in Canada called the First Nations. All right, these natives are called the First Nations up here, and then you got the ones down here. But there were already some here and here because imagine what's it called? Australia is right here. They came up through here. This is why you had the Olmecs right here, and they're the oldest people in the Americas. The Olmecs and the Aboriginals, or the Olmecs and the Aboriginals, are genetically related. Excuse me, because the Washita are genetically related to the Olmecs as well. I ain't gonna say all of them, but the people of America, all of them are considered to be MERS. That's M-U-U-R. And they got that M-U, that's also because we come from Mu, what they're calling Lemuria. But I don't necessarily fully believe in that. That it was the island don't exist. Like, here, let me explain. There's a dude named, I think his name is James Churchward, Charles Churchwald, some shit like that. Excuse me. He's basically making up the land of Mu. It exists, but not how he explaining it. And so the way he explaining it, and he putting that little island right there in the sea, that is not where Lemuria / Mu is. And I'm gonna show y'all that later in the video. But right here, right? These people termed Native Americans are later Asian immigrants, okay, to the Americas. This group, okay, would include East Asian blacks, okay, that's the Mongolian blacks, okay. And if you don't know what Mongolian is, you got three main races, right? If you want to include the Aboriginals, because they would be considered Australoids. But you have Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. You already know just by name, Negroid is all black people. Okay. Then you got Caucasoids, which would be considered what you would call white people. Then you have Mongolians, which would be what you would call Asiatic people. Okay, or Oriental, or whatever you want to call them. Then you have Australoids. They say that Australoids are not necessarily Negroids, but they have DNA of all three groups of people. So for example, all black ethnicities or melanated ethnicities fall under the category of Negroid. All Caucasoid ethnicities fall under the category of Caucasoid, and all Asiatic ethnicities fall under the category of Mongolian. Okay, I just gotta throw that out there for y'all. Okay, keeping it pushing, such as the ancient Shang and Zhoman. So this group would include East Asian blacks, such as the ancient Shang and Zhoman, but perhaps, right, most numerously the Mongol type people, and incredibly European type albinos. Now, albinos, what our ancestors and these people, certain people, called albinos, is a Caucasoid. Now, I don't know if some of y'all remember me saying Caucasoids are about a chromosome away from albinism. They're referring to Caucasoids, okay, when they say albinos. And I'm going to get into why in just a minute, actually. For For let us not forget that the European albino, okay, is in fact a Central Asian. Okay, he's saying Caucasoids are Central Asians, hence why they're called Caucasians. Okay, they descend from Asians. This is why Europe is a part of Asia, and which is why it was called Eurasia, because really, if you want to be technical, Europe is not a separate continent. It's not. It's really a part of Asia, and this is why all the people up there look like Caucasoids. These Middle Easterner, Semitic-looking people with similar phenotypes as Arabs, right? Like the Turkish people, just for example. Now, and they were known to wander all over Asia before migrating in mass to Europe. Ancient Chinese artifacts depicting European albino type people, Caucasians, clearly attest to their presence in Eastern China. So it should come to as no surprise that they might have crossed the Bering Strait and entered the Americas, along with the Asian blacks and Mongol type people. Okay, look it. And by the way, for people who wondering, because I know it's a lot of the bright natives, and I don't want to keep saying bright. I'm gonna just say Native Americans. Native Americans, right? Native American tribes. Some of these people, don't like when other ethnicities wear headdresses. They don't like when they claim to be indigenous to America. I remember somebody telling me I would get beat up if I told a native that I was mixed. Like, listen, y'all gotta get it together, okay? Just because you're not the original people to inhabit the land don't mean you have to, get your panties in a bunch. Alright? This does not mean we can't coexist, but your home is in Asia. I'm sorry. Your home is in Asia. It is also indisputable that all of North America's Native Americans are mulattoes and whites, okay? And this is also how you get the current Hispanics that you see today, like Mexicans, for example. A lot of them are mestizo. So it's because of Europeans coming over here and interbreeding and raping Native Americans. Okay, so what they would call, and then I'm gonna show y'all the mulattoes in just a second. It is possible that some are anciently derived from European albino / Mongol and black stock. Okay, that's true. Though it cannot be gauged how much mixing occurred between the very first Europeans in the Americas, the frontiermen, and the Native Americans. However, recent research indicates that the admixture from the frontiermen was extensive, as new artifacts, demonstrate that pure Indians were blacker than first thought. Pure Indians, listen, pure Indians were blacker than first thought. So, you got people saying that they're 100% Native American. I got 100% Native American blood. You can't have 100% Native American blood. That don't make sense when everybody in America is a Native American. So being Native American is not genetic. It's not in your blood. Okay? It's not in your blood. Now look at this. Here's another pic of what it looked like of them coming from the Bering Strait, okay, or Beringia, through Canada and even down Canada through the North Americas and down into the South Americas and whatnot. And so again, right, like I was talking about mestizos, okay, this is what they call, look. So this is a Mongolian Indian, a black Mongolian Indian, right? And so when you get a Caucasoid and you mix the Caucasoid with the Comanche, for example, right? And this is also where they got the design for Jack Sparrow. This tribe, they wear that face paint and those clothes. So Jack Sparrow got his whole, like, his look and everything from this tribe. But anyway, when you mix a Caucasoid with this, you get these people. And these are what our people call mulattoes. Okay, just like how when you go to Africa or you use a different type of ethnicity of Negroid and Caucasoid, you get those light skinned people with the blue eyes / green eyes, right? But when we talking about indigenous people, black indigenous people and white indigenous people mixing, these are the people you get. Okay, so the like a lot of these tribes you see every day and on TV and etc. The people you see, they got like dark tan skin type of deal. They got like tan dark skin, but they not black. That is because they intermixed with dark skinned aboriginals, and their ancestors are dark skinned aboriginals. And when they go take a DNA test, it doesn't say that they're black. It doesn't say that they're African. It don't say that they're aboriginal. It don't say. It just say things like your DNA come from South America, Paraguay, Latin America mixed with Native American. It say stuff like that for them, right? And so, like this dude, for example, just look at this dude, this Black Dog Osage tribe dude. Now you can tell all of these people have Asian in them, like you can tell all these people got Asian in them, right? Now check this out. This dude right here, right? This Black Dog dude in the lower left corner right here. If you look at him, you see the Asian features, but this is also how a lot of the Hispanic people of America look, right? And that is because some of the Europeans, right? You got things called like I said, mestizo. That's a Native American mixing with a European. So that Native American is already mixed. So when they mix and get more white, okay, that is when they become a mestizo. But the type of white that they are mixing with is Spaniard. So people from Spain. And then they start speaking Spanish. So these Spaniards came and mixed with these Native Americans and the indigenous aboriginals of America, right? And they created what we call mulattoes, which is black and white. Except I don't remember how the names go, but it's mulatto, like quadroon and stuff like that. And quintaroon, it mean like you got two black parents and a white grandparent, one white grandparent, and then the cycle keep going. You probably got what, two black parents, two black grandparents, and one black great grandparent. It's like that. But mulatto is having a black parent and a white parent, and you getting those people you see who oftentimes look like a light skinned person with green eyes or blue eyes. But again, like I said, when you do it with black indigenous and white indigenous, or you get these people. Okay, so again, you see the Asiatic phenotype in this man right here. Okay, you can also see the Asiatic phenotype in a lot of Hispanics. Just look at their eyes. You can see the Asiatic phenotype in a lot of the black people or melanated people of America. Now, even though I say the word black sometimes or often, we're not black. That is not the word. We already talked to y'all about the etymology of the word black. Okay, the old English definition of black means pale, and missing is void of color. Okay, and it really means white, which is where you get BALC. It comes from blanc, and in Spanish, blanc means white. Okay, so really the word black, okay, it means white and void of color. But melanated people are not void of color, which is why we have melanin, which is why we were called colored, which is why we can absorb 99.9% of the sunlight, all the color from the sun. But keeping it pushing, these are what you would call mulattoes. Okay, these are people who mix with these people and Caucasoids. Okay, different ethnicities of Caucasoids. But even these ain't just the only mulattoes. Caucasoids mixing with these people, Caucasoids mixing with the Asiatic people who came through the Bering Strait. Those are all still mulattoes. Like right here, right? When I said some of these people be dark, but you wouldn't consider them, a Negroid. These people right here, right? Sometimes you gotta ask where you get your features from, because listen, where you get your features, where you get your skin. How did you get here? How did you get this dark? Okay, you got to start asking yourself that, because a lot of y'all like to fight about y'all not being the original people of America, when it is nothing wrong with us coexisting. This is just not your land. Okay, now right here, right, because I seen people trying to say these were Caucasoid or mulatto Native American heads, when these are actually, you know, Aboriginal heads. And I want y'all to know, these mummies are older than the ones in Egypt. These are the oldest mummies in the world, and they're all found in the Americas. They're all found in the Americas. These are the oldest mummies in the world. So, you know, and I'm showing y'all the type of people they are if they were still alive. Look at the phenotype. You got to compare the phenotype, right? Because I listen, this right here, and even look at this. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is the Khoi sign. These people are everywhere. These people are some of the most, like, you got the Khoi sign, you got the San, the Khoi, the Bushmen. They're all called the Bushmen technically, and they're all related to the Bantu, and they're from Africa. But these people is where the Asiatic phenotype comes from. So all Asian people technically descend from these people. Okay? So yeah. Now keeping it pushing. Right here, you got the brown-skinned Europoids. These are the oldest Caucasoids on the planet. Now, oftentimes you may hear the theory that they skin turned bright from them going into the north of the equator, which is false, right? Your skin is that color because of albinism, and you intermixing after one of your ancestors came out with albinism. Right here, boom, you got another. This is also more brown-skinned Europoids. So I'm not trying to harp, because this video gonna be kind of long. Now I showed y'all the Cro-Magnon man, and you know their DNA being in the Aryans. Now right here you have these again. These are the oldest, and these are the indigenous people of the Americas. They're also the mound builders. They've been here. Okay, like listen, we got the most pyramids over here in America. We got some of the oldest pyramids over here in Americas. Okay. Oldest mummies, oldest pyramids, the most pyramids. We got the biggest pyramid, which is the pyramid Cholula, which is bigger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt, but keeping it pushing. Also, that pyramid is said to be the Tower of Babel, truly, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Now, even right here, you got indigenous, Aboriginal, Native Americans, indigenous Americans who also had a thing for Caucasoid women / mulatto women. And so it wasn't just us mixing because we was getting raped or colonized. They liked some of these women too, my guy. So, you know, even right here, now these people right here are the Aztecs. Okay, these are the Aztecs. This is the Aztecs. You can look at the Aztec and Mayan pictures. Got the same facial structure. He got some Phineas action from Phineas and Ferb going on right here. But, you know, yeah. And then it's a picture of him and you know her. It's another picture of them where they on like a flyer or some type of paper, and next to them is a Mayan, you know, a Mayan indigenous American, because the Mayans and the Aztecs are the same people. And I'm gonna prove that later on in the video for people who don't believe that or know that at all. Right here, you got the Egyptians of the past, which you see the Nubians, and you see whatnot, the dark and brown skinned Egyptians. And then you got today these Arabian-like people who like to argue that Egyptians weren't black, when you cannot show me a Caucasoid in Egypt before 300 BC, and that's facts. So and I can show, I've shown black Egyptians. I even shown a woman, Amos, which is a black Egyptian, who was said to be the first female pharaoh, who was out there crushing Aryans. Now right here, right, genetic history of indigenous people of Americas. Oh, and right here you see it got the Mayans, and it got these Native Americans right here. You got these Indians of the past. It say these the today Indians, and you can look at these people, And you can tell, you know, when they mix with Caucasoids and etc, the Spanish colonizers, you can look at their phenotype and you can tell this is where the Hispanics coming from. A lot of these Hispanics are just different native tribes mixed with Spaniards. But look, because we wasn't speaking Spanish. We wasn't speaking Spanish. So, you know, right here. North American for where we at? Boom, boom, boom. You can go read that yourself. It's just a Native American identity in the eastern United States is mostly detached from the genetic descent and especially embraced by people of predominantly European ancestry. Yeah, you can go read that yourself. Excuse me. But right here, this is this is basically genocide. The Cherokee Tribal Council also rejected Marilyn Van, even though she has ancestors who walked the Trail of Tears. So she is an Aboriginal, basically. And then you got these two, you know, no offense, these two Caucasoids right here, right? And this one looked like he may be mixed with, you know, Native American. Who got accepted, you know, who can identify as Native American. But she can't. Somehow. Now, really, this is what an American is. According to this website, according to this Webster Dictionary from 1828, a Native American originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay? So it's identity theft, basically. And you know, people around America are walking around having an identity crisis, don't know their ancestors, don't know where they came from, they don't even know they self, they don't know their history, nothing. And they basically are having a form of an identity crisis. They think they're African. And then some of them they you know, they want to argue because you feel like we were already here, but they want to say, oh, you don't claim your people in Africa, blah blah blah, you're a coon, blah blah blah. Y'all gotta realize something. Everybody, just because you're black don't mean you can listen. It's one thing for example, people from a person or people from Africa to go see the continent, but the descendants of those people who seeded that continent are not African. That's just an example. The descendants of those people who seeded that continent are not African. They have African ancestors, but they're not African. They're indigenous to that land that they're on. Okay? But that's just one example. We keeping it pushing, though. Right here, right? Now, this is a scale of albinism. Okay? This is a scale of albinism. And there's different forms of albinism that appear, okay, in different races. Now, these different races, some of these Caucasoids come from their albino descendants, mixing with other people. So, for example, our people were calling bright-skinned Asians, okay? Asians with what I would say pheomelanin, basically. Asians with pheomelanin were being called albinos, okay? Or excuse me, we're being called albino. Anybody who came out like this is an albino, right? But you know how you got dark skinned, you got black skinned, you got brown skinned Indians, you got brown skinned, it's still such thing as brown skinned Europoids. What else? You know, you got the brown skinned indigenous, you got brown skinned versions of the Chinese, you got brown skinned versions of everything, right? But when you look at the bright skinned ones, okay, our people were calling these people albino. Why? Because genetically they are closer to albinism through chromosomes. Now look, all it takes is for these people to intermix with other, for example, just like how it said, Caucasians are actually Central Asians. Now, you know, this is Eurasia, so all of them people, or a great portion of those people, are actually European mixed with Asian, which is why you can look at Arabian, right? And you can see like Caucasoid in them, but you can also see Asian in them. Okay, but keeping it pushing. Right here, you got OCA1B. This is a spectrum, right? This is a spectrum. Okay. Uh, this girl right here is actually a melanated. Okay, you can tell this dude is obviously Asian. This dude, I don't know. I think he was melanated. Now look, this girl obviously was melanated. She's an Ethiopian. Okay, right here, these are all melanated, but just have albinism. And now when a person have a baby with an albino person, they baby may come out as albino, right? And so you're making another Caucasoid. Now look, a lot of people gonna be thinking, or some people may be thinking, like, just because they're born with white skin from albinism doesn't make them a Caucasoid. Yes, it does. And it's not every Caucasoid ain't okay, listen. The reason they start looking like how they look today is because they mix with other ethnicities. So if you take an albino and he start mixing with Asians, it's like, my God, over time you gonna keep getting different. If albinos are mixing with different ethnicities, you gonna keep creating different ethnicities. But the albinism may go away, and your child may be born with a different form of albinism, if I'm not confusing y'all. So basically, how albinism disappeared is through intermixing and keeping on, mating with people who ain't got albinism. So this person right here would be considered an albino. Okay, this is just different forms. This boy right here was black. Okay, this girl right here is black, and I quote black. Okay, so this dude African. These people albino, but you see sometimes when you look at an albino person, you can't really tell they got albinism because they got a different form, and it's because that's how they are. I've made videos talking about how Caucasoids are genetically modified humans and etc. But we ain't gonna get into that in this video. I'm done with all that. Y'all can go check out them videos. And even right here, this is why y'all can't y'all can't come out in the sun and whatnot. Now this goes back to that video I showed, right? Now albinism, you have no pigmentation in your skin, you have no melanin, so your body cannot absorb the light from the sun. Now everybody except albinos, okay, have melanin. Other than that, if you don't got eumelanin in your skin, hair, and eyes, you have pheomelanin, which is the same as an animal, okay? So you're not absorbed, you're reflecting the sunlight. So white don't absorb light, but black does. We all know that. And so when you mix up let's say you got a little canvas of a bunch of different colors of paint. If you mix all of them colors of paint up, you're going to get black, if not brown. Okay? So white, that's why white, it changed different. It absorbs. Excuse me. It's void of color. You have to put color in white. If you just throw a bunch of paint on the ground, that's why Caucasoid genes are called recessive. If you throw a bunch of white paint on the ground, right, or you just got a white piece of paper instead, the color go on top of that. If you try to write on top of black paper, with like brown or maybe red, it's kind of gonna be hard to see. You get what I'm saying? If you get where I'm going. So this why they get sunburn and whatnot right here, right? Y'all remember that this goes back to that video I posted in my artificial intelligence video, where it's showing your skin under sunlight, right? So hold up, let me see something. Your skin under sun. Right here. And as you can see, in this video, right, it's gonna show for the most part Caucasoids. Right? Look. What you see. I'm gonna turn this music off in case they start tripping. They over here messing with my channel and whatnot. So look. So as you can see, right, they you know, putting them under a type of camera under the sun, and then hold up, it's showing how the sun basically affect their skin. You know, I told y'all, for some people, freckles can be a sign of cancer, but that don't mean all freckles. For the most part, freckles ain't cancerous, but there are such things as cancerous, you know, freckles, and freckles don't appear in your skin until you start getting in the sun and whatnot. And you know, remember I was talking about how you know, Caucasoids be out in the cold with shorts on, because I used to work with them, right? Now, this is nothing against y'all, but anyway, I was talking to a person who identifies as a ginger recently, and she was telling me how she had a heat stroke in 30 degrees weather, and I've been flabbergasted ever since. So, a heat stroke in 30 degrees weather. That's insane. That's insane. But yeah, you see how with the black people, excuse me, melanated people, it's not showing like freckles and dark spots and blotches on her skin because she is sun-kissed and she is a child of the sun. Okay, but you saw this Native American dude right here, right? Where you go? Where you go? Hold up. Hold up. Right there. You see how these people, they not really changing colors under that camera and that light. They have melanin. Okay, they got melanin. Now you see these people popping up with freckles and blotches. They got pheomelanin. Look, he gotta put on suntan. They gotta put on, that's not funny, but they gotta put on suntan. Some people don't know the suntan is doing worse for your skin than the sun. But yeah, keeping it pushing. And you know, I gotta show this even now. Listen, I've showed this multiple times. Alright, but I have to show it again. More than 2 people die of skin cancer in the US every hour. More than 2 people die of skin cancer in the US every hour. Okay? From age 50 on, significantly more men develop melanoma than women. The majority of people who develop melanoma are Caucasian men over the age of 55. But until age 49, significantly more non-Hispanic Caucasoid women, okay, develop melanoma than white men. Okay, excuse me, 1 in 156 women versus 1 in 228 men. Overall, 1 in 28 men and 1 in 41 white people, excuse me, white women, Caucasoid women, will develop melanoma in their lifetime. So right here, I don't need to read this. The United States, Caucasoid majority will soon disappear. Okay, but the Caucasoid share of the U.S. population has been dropping from a little under 90% in 1950 to 60% in 2018. It will likely drop below 50% in another 25 years. In 2015, for the first time, there were more Caucasoid deaths in the USA, okay, than Caucasoid births. Indeed, as of 2016, in 26 states, Caucasoids were dying faster than they were being born. And here's a graph for that. Here's a graph for that. Now, I'm showing this because y'all need to do something about that. Now, I'm not saying, you know, get off my planet, but y'all might, I'm sorry, but some of y'all might have to go back in caves and underground. Because unless y'all want to somehow build, you know, some type of way for y'all to exist up here where y'all can be in cool, you know, darker climates. But y'all can't naturally exist. You're not absorbing sunlight, and this is not all of them, by the way. Not all Caucasoids are reflecting sunlight. Now, don't sit here and ask me. Don't be asking me, oh, what can I do? You can't. You listen. Hey, that sucks. Y'all gonna have to like, and you know, it's people who what this dude say? Somebody said to me, because you know how people say they ain't got no souls. Somebody came and said to me, "Oh, I be in the sun and all the time," or something like that, and I have a soul, or I'm not dying or burning. Listen, over time, you don't just die from going out in the sun. Like, come on now, you would have to be outside in the sun all the time, because I know y'all skin is burning. Okay, I know y'all skin is burning. I know that it be turning red. Some of y'all don't like to be outside in the sun, etc. Now, we gotta look at this as humans, as being a species, not no prejudice, racism, bullcrap that y'all like to bring up. This is science, okay? This is genetics, okay? Listen, now this is another graph of that. As the previous same is the previous slide. I don't need this is partially why, right? Cause they eat animals, okay? They eat animals, and this don't matter much, or it kind of do actually. When they were in the Caucasus Mountain, they were eating each other and they were eating the animals. So you know this diet, when they recommending you certain things in life, it's not always for the melanated person. It's for the Caucasoid. And melanated people, ancestors, like I said, okay, were vegetarians and vegans. They showed it and proved it by testing the teeth and the bones of our ancestors. So we really not supposed to be eating meat. And the vast majority of the planet, okay, are lactose intolerant. It's more than 50%. The vast majority of the planet is lactose intolerant. And our body is not built, nor is our teeth built to consume meat, nor is our digestive system. This is why your stomach feel that way. This is why it sound like that. This is why, you know, you fart and whatnot after consuming dairy and etc. But I don't need to explain this. I've been explaining this for way too long. Okay? Right here, you got our people. You got the Algonquin, you got the Dalis, the Powhatan, the Shineko, Kootenai Flatheads, the Navajo. I rock with the Navajo. You know, the whole Skinwalker. I used to look into the Skinwalker stories and videos and whatnot. The whole thing, that stuff was interesting to me. But anyway, right here you got the Australians, the Andaman Islands, Islanders, Indians, you know, Pacific, Malaysian, Russian, China, Africa. We were everywhere. We're global. And this is why we build pyramids in every single continent. Okay? We did that. We did that. Now, I'm showing this because, you know, I'm here to empower my people who actually don't know themselves, who don't know where they came from or don't know their history, right? So if you not from the same ethnicity as me, right, and you feeling weird watching this, alright, leave the video. The whitest man on the planet and the darkest man on the planet are Negroids. Okay? I'm going to read that again. The whitest man on the planet, and the end I'll quote whitest man, and the darkest man on the planet are Negroids. Okay? And they're models, and they know each other. Okay? And they model together. So, you know, we got this slide right here. I be seeing a lot. You know, this made me laugh every time, right? Because this is the vast majority of the black people of America. We got these niggas believing they're African. Now we can see, and you know, they had the Constitution of them. They had to sign the Constitution of America. Okay, they did that. Excuse me. They signed the Constitution of America instead of the Constitution for America. They got people to sign that, the Aboriginal / indigenous people of America, to sign these things and give away their freedom and their identity, because they was telling them, okay, they'll get them this and that, You know, they basically bribed them, they lied to them and tricked them. And you know, even with the reparations, there was no Native Americans signing that. There was no indigenous people signing it. It was all Caucasoid signing it. Okay? And so that is how the whole reparations thing happened. Now we gonna keep it pushing. Okay? I want y'all to realize that. I want my melanated people to realize that you are nature. I see women like to wear lace fronts and sew-ins, you know, the whole frontals and etc and wigs these days. Now I'm not telling y'all to stop doing. Y'all can do what y'all want, but I'm also saying don't be if you got damaged hair. I've seen, and I'm not saying all people hair look good when it's damaged. I know sometimes it look frail and broken off etc, but some people hair still look regular. Now I'm saying don't be afraid to wear your regular hair out is basically what I'm saying, because your hair has the 9 ether and it defies gravity and it coils upwards. It has the 9 ether, which is the golden ratio 1.618, which is also called the Fibonacci sequence, which is everything in life comes into life through vortexes. So your hair, the coils are like vortexes. They're like magnetic fields because your hair has U melanin. So it's absorbing the sunlight. So your body is like using sunlight in a way that the solar panels create photovoltaic energy. Okay? So you are absorbing the sunlight through your hair, and you're and also remember, light equals information. Okay? So yes, you're getting smarter from being in the sunlight. You're getting more brain power. You're becoming more electrified. So, you know, your hair harnesses this energy. It's like a solenoid. A solenoid is a current, okay? It's a type of electromagnet. The purpose of which is to generate a controlled magnetic field, just like your hair absorbing the sunlight, okay? A magnetic field through a coil wound into a tightly packed helix. The coil can be arranged to produce a uniform magnetic field in a volume of space when an electric current is passed through it. So, you know, even with you know, plants and whatnot, they come into life as a spiral. They spiral out the seed, and you know, they straighten and come up. It's the spiral of nature is also what I call it. So, you know, this kinky hair, this coily curly hair, and you know, people actually love this type of hair. But this hair, y'all gotta realize what it is as well, because this is part of you. This is part of your power. This is how you are nature, because you are a reflection of the universe, not just nature, but the universe. So yeah, you like a walking plant, right? Plants have melanin. We have melanin. They have chlorophyll. We have iron. Okay, they got They got magnesium, etc. So if we had chlorophyll in our skin, we would be green, like Osiris, alright, or like these Indian deities. But right here, everything in life is about spirals. Okay, you got a quasar, you got a galaxy, you got a quasar, a galaxy, you got a vortex, and you got like a cyclone. Okay, so it's everything is about vortexes. Even your frequency is spirals. When you feeling down, your vibration spiral down. You may feel it go down here, like in a situation. Let's say somebody's saying something negative to you. You feel your own vibration. Remember, people communicate with 7% verbally and 93% with energy, facial expression, body language, and etc. So only 7% of communication is done with your mouth when you communicate with somebody. The rest is just is metaphysical, basically. So, you know, you can, when somebody say something negative to you and it make you feel some type of way, how did you feel it and what did it feel like? Where did you feel it? Okay, like you can oftentimes feel your vibration go down in your body. You can feel it go up when you feeling good. Okay, this is why for example, if you listening to gamma wave music like 40 hertz etc, you naturally gonna be happy. There is nothing to be sad about when you are producing more gamma waves in your brain. So gamma waves in your brain are synonymous to gamma waves that are produced in space. So even with our solar system, it's in a spiral. So it's not a stationary solar system. We are moving through the galaxy. This gift not moving, but just imagine these planets moving around the circles, okay? And the sun is actually moving. So that yellow ball, yeah, that's how people see the sun. So it's traveling through space, around through the houses, throughout the whole galaxy. So your body, right, has an electromagnetic field. Everything has an aura, including you and the Earth. The Earth's is called Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. There's some in the south too. It's all over the place. That's not the only part of the aura, but everything on this planet has an aura, which is why I have this pic right here. Okay, these pictures, these type of pictures are called Kirlian photography. Okay, Kirlian. Okay, and so the Earth has an electromagnetic field, an electric field, and a magnetic field. We have both, and this is your toroidal breathing. So this is the same as how the Earth has a toroidal field. It's called a torus field or toroidal field. Okay, listen. If you don't know how to breathe like this, or you want to know or whatever, okay, I have a video on the aura. I explained how to do this, and I show videos. Now listen. Keeping it pushed right here. This is how your brain absorbs light from the sun into your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is synonymous to a black hole in space, right? Your pineal gland distributes and excretes melatonin, okay, to help you sleep and relax. It also produces serotonin, especially when you absorb in light from the sun, natural light. So it's going to produce serotonin, which makes you happy, okay, which is more energy. And you remember, this is information. So scientists say light photons carry a certain amount of terabytes of information. Now, I don't believe that. I believe they contain different amounts. I believe they don't have a specific amount. So when they put a number on it, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they have that number. But anyway, right here, does light carry information? The light that reaches our eyes, for example, consists of real photons which carry both information and energy. However, all electromagnetic fields contain not only real photons but also virtual photons, which can be thought of as imprints on the quantum vacuum. Okay, so these are the benefits of sun gazing. Don't ever let nobody tell you that sun gazing give you cancer or can damage your eyes. Listen to me. Right here it says the safest time to look at the sun is no later than 30 minutes after sunrise, or 30 minutes before sunset. That's true. 30 minutes to an hour, okay? After sunrise. 30 minutes to an hour before sunset, okay? Because when the sun is like afternoon or whatever, the sun be too bright for you to absorb unless you've been doing it for a while, right? And you can look up PHIRAT and NASA confirming that sun gazing actually does change the body and mind, okay? So, and I'm also proof, okay? And another thing is, I have above 20/20 vision, and I've been sun gazing for over a year, and my vision is crystal clear. So don't let nobody tell you, okay, that it damages your eyes. So I do it mainly in the middle of the day, but that don't mean do that because I do it. But listen, it can also improve your eyesight. But anyway, these are the benefits for sun gazing. Now, I done gave y'all the most innovative, okay, revolutionary, scientific, metaphysical, esoteric explanations of sun gazing all throughout my channel, okay? I go hard. Listen, I'm a sun god. I'm a sun god. I do this, okay? But anyway, keeping it pushing. I just want y'all to realize that, and people who don't know this already, you are the cosmos, okay? The space, you got the universe, and you got multiverses, you got omniverses, and you got the macroverse. Inside your body, okay, is a microverse. So you got, you got your chakras in your body. You got your organs, your endocrine system, which are connected and are synonymous to the planets in our solar system. Okay, so right here you got nitrogen, which would represent fire. You got hydrogen, which would represent water. You got carbon, which would represent earth. You got oxygen, which would represent gas. Your body is made up of all the elements of the earth. And now the fifth element, which we know is ether, that would be like the dark matter in your skin. The dark matter in your skin would be melanin. It's synonymous to the dark matter that's the universe. This is why all around the world, our ancestors and our brothers and sisters of every civilization has said we come from the stars and we are made from the elements of the earth, and the God of the universe is a female. Okay? The God of the universe is a female. Okay? The God of the universe is a female. The Tainos call it a Tabi. Egypt call it Nut or Nid. The Dogon call it Amma. Gnostics call it Sophia. I'm going to get into that later in the video. But anyway, you got your lungs. It looks like the trees. You know the trees give you oxygen so that you could breathe. Alright? Also, we made out of stardust. That's facts. We made out of stardust. So our body is just a bunch of light particles vibrating together. I keep on explaining this and showing the Metatron's cube. Okay? We made out of light particles. Okay? But as we're ascending right now, we're ascending, so our particles in our body is going to start to separate, and our body going to be like more translucent, and we're going to be becoming like, what's it called, fourth density beings, fourth density entities. So it's not going to be, we're not going to be the same type of humans as a third density person, a dense body. If you get what I'm saying, go watch my previous video if you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, right here, you got your nucleus, okay? Is just like a sun with planets going around it, okay? This is your nucleus. And then right here, you got your eyes look like the helix of a nebula, / a helix nebula. I mean, now, and then you got the birth of a cell and the death of a star, okay? Then you got brain cells that look like the observable universe, which is a bunch of dark matter and dark energy. Your brain, and it's like electricity. So now the universe is also synonymous to your mind, right? Which is why you believe what you perceive, you give energy, and the universe give it back, etc. Blah blah blah. The universe is light in the universe, right? It's light in the universe. Everything is made up of light. Your thoughts are made up of light, and so when you think, you creating something that's made of light in your head, right? And the universe is from the universe is the same thing. Another thing is one of the Hermetic principles is the universe is the all, the universe is the mind, or the mind is the all, the universe is the mind. Okay, so you know this is why your thoughts, if you keep having like the same thoughts, and is, for example, like depressing, negative thoughts, that's gonna become your reality. You creating that. You have gold in your brain. Gold is light, so I'm pretty sure every time you think, that gold is being used. Okay, like right here. I think this is it. Nah. Oh, and this right here is about pedophilia, because this whole thing about us being, you know, connected to the universe, us being like gods and etc. This is why. Oh, and the melanin and the pineal gland. This is why they kidnap children. This is why they rape children. This is why we got 800,000 children going missing every single year in the United States. Okay, listen. Many of them being sexually trafficked through pedophilia networks, where the children suffer unimaginable horrors such as satanic ritual abuse. And that type of satanic ritual abuse is what I've showed in my video called Trans-Yugathian Magic, okay? Which it's basically the ritual involving the belief that a person can tap into powers from realms beyond our solar system to attain worldly powers and ultimately immortality. The significance of the realms being tapped into being beyond our solar system is the belief that there are gods beyond our outermost planet that are greater than the God of the Bible, Jehovah. The people with these beliefs are the Luciferians in general. The ritual itself involves the sexual molestation, torture, and killing of infants and children, the union with their bodies in sexual acts, the drinking of their blood, eating of their flesh, etc. So, you know, the whole adrenochrome, and you know, them getting the child in fear so that their adrenal glands from their pineal gland can start excreting throughout their body and their blood. And that is why, again, when you watch movies and you see them get hit in the head and whatnot, and the blood come out like dark, that is your neuromelanin seeping into your blood because you in fear. Your pineal gland is also an adrenal gland. So this is why it's like you know how on X-Men when Mystique about to fight, she this blue suit appear on her. That is the same as what's that movie? Twilight. I showed this before. I showed gifts of this. In Twilight, when Edward stopped the car with his hand and he said it was his adrenaline. It's just like when you get into a fight or an intense situation and your adrenaline kick in. And like for example, when you fighting, you don't really feel the punches until way after the fight. Your adrenaline activated. That is like you activating a power, but you just don't know how to use it. Okay, so that adrenochrome, that blood traveling throughout your body, that neuromelanin traveling through your bloodstream, that's like you activating a type of power. Okay, so these states have the highest number of unsolved missing children cases. I'm not even about to read it. So right here, you got 3 different types of melanin. I have to get into this. Okay, it's for my people. Eumelanin makes mostly dark colors in hair, eyes, and skin. Okay, so this type of melanin in our hair, eyes, and skin, that's eumelanin. There are 2 types of melanin, brown and black. Eumelanin, brown and black. Okay, black and brown hair comes from different mixes of black and brown eumelanin. Okay, you hear that? So you know them albinos. Okay, anyway, from different mixes of black and brown eumelanin. Blonde hair happens when there's small amounts of brown eumelanin and no black eumelanin. Okay, right here it say pheomelanin. Okay, listen. Pheomelanin colors the pinkish parts of the body, the lips and nipples. You get red hair when you have the same amount of pheomelanin and eumelanin. Strawberry blonde hair happens when you have brown eumelanin and pheomelanin. Okay, so this is the white skin. It be turning pink or red. It can't absorb sun. They get cancer from the sun. They get melanoma. Another thing about melanoma, I have to say this again. Cancer.org even said themselves, the people who test, because you got the statistics on black people with having melanoma, that's really is wrong. And skincancer.org even said half of people who diagnosed skin cancer on black skin were not trained. Okay, again, half of people, okay, half of the people who got the statistics for melanoma on skin were not trained to diagnose skin cancer on black skin. Okay, so you know they got melanated people thinking they're gonna get skin cancer and whatnot from being in the sun and sunbathing, when you have seen people do it for hours. You as a child have been in the sun for hours before. You've been in the sun for hours before. Okay, so listen. Neuromelanin controls the color of neurons. It isn't involved with the coloring of things. Okay, this is distributed through the brain. Okay, melanocytes make eumelanin and pheomelanin. Neuromelanin is found in the brain. Okay, right here it says, how is adrenochrome harvested? Adrenochrome is generally known to be harvested from the pineal gland of penguins in places such as Antarctica, the South Pole. In order of such is described in this WikiLeaks cable. However, this obviously does not meet the global Luciferian elites, okay, needs for getting intoxicated and drunk on their conquest. Now, another thing about that adrenochrome video that YouTube deleted, you can go watch it on I got another version of it on my Instagram. Okay, so right here, this is what your neuromelanin looks like under a microscope. Hold on, let me move this over. Alright, let me make that bigger for y'all. This is what your neuromelanin looks like. Okay, under a microscope. So right here you got the substantia nigra, that would be where your pineal gland is. Okay, substantia nigra contains dopamine producing cells. So let's keep it pushing. Okay, right here, dark matter can refer to any substance which interacts predominantly via gravity, okay, with visible matter, stars and planets. Hence, in principle, it need not be composed of a new type of fundamental particle, but could, at least in part, be made up of standard baryonic matters such as protons and neurons. Okay? Dark matter is a mysterious substance that makes up 85% of the matter in the universe. originally introduced to explain why the strong force, which holds together protons and neutrons, is the same backwards and forwards in time. The so-called axion would provide a natural explanation for dark matter. Rather than discrete particles, axion dark matter would form a pervasive wave flowing throughout space. So yeah, yo, melanin is a form of dark matter. If they pulled it out, it will look something like, you know, how it look in space. But they acting like they can't find dark matter. So, you know, I made videos on Goology. I don't need to explain dark matter. Now listen, right here, right? Because we got this is what sparked it for me. Me, you know, I don't, you know, not liking Bill Gates. Me wanting to get on his head. Now it says, right, the pineal gland, and because you know you got the pineal gland is one of the most important glands in your body, especially for melanated people. Okay, listen, we got fluoride in the water, we got GMO foods and chemtrails. All of these mess with your pineal gland. You got genetically modified foods and foods that's just not good for you, period. When you eat these, your pineal gland actually translates the food. Okay, not only that, your pineal gland is used for visualization and dreaming. So if you can't dream or you have a hard time visualizing things with your eyes closed, you may need to change your diet so that you can decalcify your pineal gland. And also, if you consume a high fructose corn syrup, which hardens, shrinks, and calcifies your pineal gland even further. Now listen, the pineal gland is a small pine cone shaped gland, okay, of the endocrine system. And don't be afraid of your pineal gland. I got many videos on this. Don't ever let nobody make you think it's evil or demonic to open this. You do not open this. The reason people have demonic bad experiences with it is because they're a bad demonic person. You cannot be at a low vibration or engaging in negativity and low vibrational things in your life and thinking you're gonna have a good experience when you open your pineal gland. You open your pineal gland with intent, and you do it from a holistic approach. Okay, and your vibration gotta be you gotta have your vibration straight. You gotta be not consuming no bull crap, because it's gonna show. Your pineal gland is going to, it's an eye, so it's gonna start to show you the things that you've been hiding in your subconscious, or that's been trapped in your unconscious. All right, hidden memories, hidden emotional baggage, damage, low vibrational thoughts, and things that you just stuffed in the back of your head. Like, you may have wanted to express yourself to your boss every day, but you don't do it because you think you're gonna get fired, and your boss is an asshole. You probably have like pent up anger in you, and this is why some people they have a tipping point. They get to a point where they may hear something negative one day and then they explode. It's because it's building up inside you, and it's toxic. It's spiritually toxic, and it's eating you up. So you need to start doing shadow work. I have a video on that. Look into that. And yeah, you want to make sure you straight with yourself. Make sure you ain't got no emotional baggage dragging you behind, because over time, it's about your perception and what you think is actually, go watch my previous video. I'm not explaining this. The pineal gland is a small pine cone shaped gland in the endocrine system, okay? A system of the diencephalon of the brain. The pineal gland produces the hormone melatonin. Melatonin influences sexual development and sleep-wake cycles. The pineal gland is composed of cells called pinealocytes, okay? It also has the same tissue as the retina in your eye, or the iris in your eye. So it is made of the same tissue as your physical eyeballs. So your two eyeballs that you see out with every day, they see the consciousness. You see out of these consciously. You see the physical realm. You see light. Your pineal gland, it sees the metaphysical. It absorbs light. Okay, it can distribute light, but it absorbs light. Okay, for the most part. But anyway, the pineal gland. What we got? The pineal gland is connects the endocrine system with the nervous system, in that it converts nerve signals from the sympathetic system of the peripheral nervous system into hormonal signals. over time calcium deposits, right here, over time calcium deposits build up in the pineal gland, and it accumulates and can lead to calcification in the elderly. Okay? Now, for some people, it may be hard to escape this because, listen, this is from Forbes.com right here. This one right here is for Forbes.com. Okay? I've shown this before. So, this is precisely why the Harvard research team intends to spray tiny chalk calcium carbonate particles into the atmosphere in a controlled experiment. Computer models can only go as far in predicting the impact of this geoengineering technique. It is time for a real world test with funding in part by Microsoft co-owner Bill Gates, the Harvard team. Okay, anyway, yeah, so basically every day when you see them chemtrails being sprayed, know that there are calcium carbonate particles coming down out the sky. And some people may think, okay, those chemtrails too high to get me. No, they're not. There are people getting sick and being affected, and you just may be too, because you're absorbing. We absorb thousands and thousands and thousands of chemicals every single day. Okay? We absorb thousands of chemicals every single day. The air is not clean. Okay? You got airplanes spraying things. You got car exhaust. You got greenhouse gas emission and animals dying. You got the sun heating up the earth a little bit. You got the earth heating itself up. If you don't know about that, the earth has a core which heats up the earth just like your heart heats up your body. Our heart vibrate at the same frequency as the earth's core, which is 7.83 hertz. Well, excuse me. I think it's 7.83. If not, it's 7 something. And I know, matter of fact, 7.83 wouldn't be wrong because it's still in the same range. And also 10, 10 is also part of that frequency. But, it's sometimes it's 7 point something, 7 point something else, 7 point something else. It's different sometimes. So anyway, yeah, you have a heart, the earth has a heart. The earth is a living, breathing organism. Now, again, I have to repeat myself a lot throughout my channel because I know there's always new people watching, and oftentimes I have to parallel information that I gave before with other information. So, yeah, keeping it pushing. Right here, right? Now, again, this is why it say. Let me give y'all these statistics real quick. Hold up. Not the ones that's on the screen, but listen. Okay, so 82. Vitamin D deficiency. 41.6% of the population of the planet, and I quote, has a vitamin D deficiency. And 82.1% of blacks, and I quote, have a vitamin D deficiency. And 69.2 Hispanics, and I quote, have a vitamin D deficiency. And then right here you see it say, okay, where are we at? African Americans, okay, lactose intolerant. 70 to 90% of us, okay, are lactose intolerant. So the thing here, and I have to parallel this information because vitamin D and dairy, right? Like I told y'all, Caucasoids were eating animals, so that whole diet is their diet, right? And so when they tell you this right here is a healthy diet, blah blah blah, they're not talking about everybody. Everybody don't eat the same. Their body don't work the same, etc. So, a lot of melanated people not getting enough sun. You get vitamin D from the sun. Okay, you're not supposed to be getting it from an animal's breast. Alright? But what we got here? Right here. Didn't eat enough fruits and vegetables today. Join the club. 87% of Americans don't meet recommendation for fruit consumption, and 91% don't meet recommendation for vegetable consumption, according to a new U.S. report. Researchers analyzed a 2013 survey of more than 373,000 American adults in all 50 states who answered questions about how much fruit and vegetables they eat. U.S. federal dietary guidelines recommend that people eat between 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit per day and 2 to 3 cups of vegetables a day. Overall, just 13% of people consumed enough fruit to meet the guidelines, and 9% ate enough vegetables, according to the report released today, July 9. Okay, from researchers at the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. So that's just like, y'all, America is not eating right, and this is why America is one of the most unhealthy states in the world. Okay, and look at what America says is a healthy diet. Look at their food. Listen. Look at what they say is a healthy diet. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, now look, at all or not too beautiful. Nearly all Americans report that they are trying to improve at least one aspect of their eating habits, and nearly 9 in 10, 87%, have tried to eat more fruits and vegetables. Weight management. More than half of Americans, 55%, reported that they are trying to lose weight, which is a significant increase from 2011, 43%. So that's more than 10%. That's about 12%. However, the number does seem to return to historical norms, 54% in 2010, 53% in 2009, 57% in 2008, and 56% in 2007, while 22% indicate they are trying to maintain their weight. Only 20% report that they are not doing anything regarding their weight. Okay? These numbers have remained fairly consistent for the past few years in the survey. Americans are still overwhelmingly missing out on the easiest ways to prevent cancer, heart disease, and other big killers, eating enough fruits and vegetables. Only 12% of Americans eat the minimum amount of fruit recommended. A cup and a half to 2 cups a day. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention found, and only 9% get 2 to 3 cups of vegetables a day that are recommended. Okay, listen. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because we are supposed to be practicing holistics. Okay? Listen, we supposed to be practicing holistic, medicinal herbs. Okay? Medicinal herbs. ETC, eating fruits and vegetables, or a more organic diet. Okay? Connecting with nature, getting in nature. Okay? You're supposed to be eating foods that contain electricity / light. That's food that come from the earth. So the foods you eat, like meats and whatnot, they have no color. You supposed to be eating food with color. Meat is like gray, so that's like not really. That's a mix between black and white. So that's not really. And then it got red, it got blood. So blood would be red. That's like animalistic. So what I'm saying is, when you eat colored food, it's good for your chakras. Okay, your chakras they pertain to a color, the colors of the rainbow, right? So, you're supposed to be eating foods that have color. Alright, keeping it pushing. Right here. Now, with when we talking about this whole pedophilia thing, they got. Listen, look at this. Gold costs $58.07 per gram. Okay, melanin is a natural substance, right, that gives color pigment to hair, skin, and the iris of the eye. It is produced by cells in the skin called melanocytes. Melanin also helps protect the skin from the sun. Melanin is an extremely stable molecule and highly resistant to the digestion by most acids and bases. Melanin is used to prepare an inhibitor to prepare inhibitors in real-time PCR analysis prepared by persulfate oxidation. Prepared by persulfate oxidation of tyrosine, soluble in dilute NH3. So basically what I'm showing here is that melanin is $460 per gram. Okay? $460.53 per gram. So let's read this little thing right here. The biggest ticket organ you can legally sell in the US is your heart. They're going for a cool $1 million. Liver comes in second, worth about $557,000. and the kidney fetch about $262,000 each. Widespread diabetes and heart disease is what have made these particular organs, okay, so expensive. So this is why these melanated people, like I posted on my Instagram, are being found with their organs missing. And they talking about, was this an accident or a death? How is it going to be an accident that somebody organ... Anyway, in the United States alone, there are currently 123,000 people waiting for organs. 100,000 for a kidney, but only about 14,000 organs are donated per year. This means every day about 18 die. So right here, and I'm showing these little slides because I'm letting y'all know we got to get back to tapping into nature. I mean, a lot of people don't like to get in nature. They hear things about nature. You know, they start talking about, oh, tree hugger and hugging tree, oh, that don't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. Go sit by a tree, and I bet you whatever negative energy you got in you or trapped in your subconscious, the tree is going to absorb that energy up out of you. You don't even got to hug the tree. Sit next to it or put your hand on it. My God, sit against it or something. Like this is why some of our ancestors that still live on the planet still live in nature and not in houses. Because when you're in a house, you're not touching the ground with your bare feet. When you touch it with your bare feet, you absorb negative eons from the earth. Negative eons, by the way, does not mean negative energy. That's good for your body, and it helps with inflammation. It can cure cancer, okay, and stop anxiety and depression and other sicknesses. And why do it stop anxiety and depression? It's because you're like a plant and you're supposed to be in nature. And so when you're not with Mother Nature, it's like you're away from home. So that makes you like depressed, right? And so right here, this is why when you're in nature or you staring into the sky and whatnot, you feel good, or you may feel nostalgic. You might start having like all type of thoughts and whatnot. But right here, this is called solar power photovoltaic panels, okay, or sun panels. Okay, convert the sun rays into electricity by exciting electrons in silicon cells using the photons of light from the sun. This electricity can be used to supply renewable energy to your home or business. So your body, right? Just like with your body, hold up. There is a being that we see almost every day, and that does all of that for us. And yet we don't recognize it for what it is, the Godhead of this solar system, the sun. Everything in this solar system comes from the sun, because the sun created things from matter. So, worlds, humans, animals, plants, minerals, and all invisible spheres and creation. All of this was created or exhaled by the masculine aspect of the sun and is now kept alive by the female part. The feminine aspect of the sun is what the Catholics call androgynously calls the Holy Spirit. Okay, so when you look at, you know, how the body got gold in it, right? The average human body has 0.2 milligrams of gold. The highest concentration of gold was found in the lymph nodes of the human body, followed by the adrenal glands, the renal cortex, and other organs of the reticuloendothelial system. Okay, so the human body is composed of many elements, right? Many elements. We got metals in our body that's naturally supposed to be in our body, like copper. You know, you got copper, zinc, this gold. Sometimes we can consume certain forms of silver. I didn't see the dude who was what was he consuming? Colloidal silver or something. His skin turned blue. I would before you buy certain products online, you gotta make sure, like I said to y'all before, message the look into it, message the person, okay, message the seller, and etc. And you gotta research the product, like this one, right? I had to research this product and make sure I wasn't buying snake oil. This is white powder gold / monatomic gold / ormus. Okay, it was used by our ancestors in Egypt. Okay, as you can see right here, they called it I don't know how to pronounce that. Something like that. But yeah, they call it MFKTZ, and sometimes you can see it spelled MFKZT. Okay, they found monatomic gold in temples in Egypt and on Mount Sinai. Excuse me, or on Mount Sinai. Excuse me. I could have now I now before this now I could have sworn I seen a video where they were saying that they found monatomic gold in the bodies of people in Egypt. But besides that, right, monatomic gold was used also by, and now quote, Moses to help heal the Egyptians of their sicknesses when they was traveling through the Exodus, right? So this is where I got my white powder gold. Okay, and this is the website whitepowdergold.com. You can look into David Hudson if you want to know more about white powder gold / ormus / monatomic gold. Now these are the benefits that I experienced. I had to take it for a week before I recommended it to y'all, but I've had it for more than a week, right? And now these are the differences I've experienced in just a week. And listen, when you get this product, you can't be having it by no electrical, devices. You got to store it somewhere. It charge your body up. So the reason I was showing this stuff is because your body can do this photovoltaic. You charging your body up and you getting in the sun and you able to convert that electricity to energy in your body. That's why your house, when you using electricity for your house, is called energy. So right here, increase brain power and balance both hemispheres of the brain. Okay, conductor of electricity / energy. So you're more energetic. It will be more wise to sun gaze because you will be absorbing more light. Okay, throughout your body and your brain. Okay, electricity / energy increases increased physical. Why did I put this? Slows down aging. Heals DNA. Oh, this right here, I got this offline. I got this offline for what they actually do that I haven't realized or what I haven't experienced. So these ain't, it's not all my experience. So this right here is what I experienced. All right, I experienced this right here. Increased physical performance. I'm gonna just say that's what this is because I have been doing more intense workouts. All right, so it does increase your physical energy. Now, heals DNA, strengthens immune system, mental clarity, better memory, increased awareness, increased healing, okay, enhanced focus, and vivid lucid dreams. Okay, this is all what you will experience if you're consuming monatomic gold. You can get it in powder form. You can get it from this website, whitepowdergold.com, because a lot of websites, you got people saying it don't work when it actually does, and you got people saying it's snake oil when that's why you got to make sure you buying from a legit person. I don't need to read this. I've showed this a million times. Melanin absorbs 99.9% of light. Okay, you got this yellow plasma in your body that's synonymous to celestial plasma. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is actually part of the gold in your body, because yeah, if you know how the universe works and you parallel it to the way the body works, okay, and then you got the Earth's blood, which is actually crude oil / petroleum, and you see it look like human blood, so it's synonymous to us. You got, and I'm showing y'all that we the real technology. Once again, listen, gotta keep doing it. Anyway, right here you see two humans communicating telepathically, like telephone. So your brain, you are the original telephone, and this is the original way we used to communicate, right? So we getting back to that. So right here, even more showing you how your body is like a universe / a planet. Alright, and the strongest field, the heart is about 100,000 times more stronger electrically and up to 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. So this is why the heart is the seat of the soul, and your spirit is connected or linked to the mind, which is why the spirit is sometimes called psyche, and your brain, psy, has to do with the brain. Psyche, psychology, psychiatrist, psychiatric, it all got to do with the brains. So right here you have your kundalini, which is the fluid produced by your brain, cerebrospinal fluid. You're able to move that up and down your spine, which is your kundalini, part of your kundalini energy. But your cerebrospinal fluid is actually your semen. So yeah, and for those who don't know, what your semen be why your semen be smelling like bleach / ammonia, and you know that part of your brain that's produced is called Ammons rams, near your hippocampus, and you know ammon is where you get the word ammonium, and ammonium is produced on Jupiter, and ammon is associated with Jupiter. And so, you know, yeah, I don't even need to get into that. Then you got the caduceus right here, like the hospital symbol, synonymous to this. And then the Earth itself has a kundalini called a Birkeland current. Okay, it's an electromagnetic field that travels throughout different planets and whatnot. Okay, right here you have as above the 7 hermetic principles. Okay, you got all is the mind, the universe is mental. Okay, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. That's you realizing everything that's up there is also down here, and everything that's out inside of you, it be outside you. That's why, you know, the way you perceive life on the inside is going to be you're going to experience that outside. So, you know, you make sure your internal environment is good and your external environment will be good. So right here, yeah, the 7 hermetic principles. So I'm just showing y'all, you know, humans are not, they're extraterrestrial. Like I've been saying, our ancestors and whatnot said we don't come from here. Okay, scientists say our DNA don't come from here. Right here, you got West Africans have ghost DNA. All right, you got Aboriginals, Pacific Islanders carry DNA of unknown human species. Research analysis suggests. Right here, you got shocking claim human DNA was designed by extraterrestrials. Right here, mystery of our 145 alien genes. Scientists discover some DNA is not from our ancestors and say it could change how we think about the evolution. They are our ancestors because if you read, they're technically our ancestors. But if you read about Sumerian theology or Mesopotamia for that matter, because Mesopotamia is Assyria, Babylon, Sumeria, Acadia, etc. If you read their theology about the Anunnaki, you will find out that they actually altered our DNA in ancient times. And these people, if you follow the Bible, are what the Bible called the Anakim / the Nephilim. So they were extraterrestrials, okay, who came down here. See, when they talking about angels and deities in the Bible that came down here in chariots and spinning wheels, it's obvious that that's extraterrestrial. Some of the angels they talk about are extraterrestrial. Okay, all you got to do is learn how to parallel theology from around the world with other theologies, and you will understand what's going on spiritually. And even right here, I got how, you know, melanated people are mixed with reptilian DNA. You know, you got the reptilian brain, you got the scales on your skin. Every 30 to 32 days, your skin shed itself based off of what you eat. Okay, but it say right here every 27 days throughout your life, your skin will change consistently. But you know, it's about 27 to 32 days. Your skin shed itself and it changed based off the food you eat. So you know, you see, you got scales on your knuckles and whatnot. You know, they call melanated people the Naga, which is serpent people. Right here it say Nubian equal Naga is a Nubian equals people, but in India Naga refers to, and I quote, serpent people. But right here I got the N word in different forms, letting you know the N word should not have a negative connotation. Right? It say this is how our ancestors used that word, and it's been changed over time. So right here you have NGR, which is Meru Neter. Okay, in the language Meru Neter, which is pronounced Ngr or Njr, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, God, divine. The thing about Meru Neter is not necessarily like a structured spoken language. It's really vibration and sound. So it's sounds of nature, and it's called the language of the gods. But yeah, you got Neter, you got Nagash, Niga, the word Nigr. I'm not gonna say the whole word. It really means God. Neter means God. Netr also means God. Okay, so I ain't gotta get into that. Now right here, you got our people. You got native, indigenous, aboriginal Americans of the Americas. Okay, there's our people right here. This our people right here, and I've seen multiple people with this phenotype. So you know, a lot of people don't know what tribe they from. You gotta find that out. So like you know, right here you got the Algonquin. These the people who you see, you know, in the Americas. I would say Malcolm X is probably part of this tribe. And he even said that the people of America are aboriginals. But yeah, it's a lot of these people are light skinned. Some may be mulattoes, but they're bright and whatnot. These are the Algonquin tribe. Okay, in the early 1600s, John Smith, explorer of the first permanent English colony, described the indigenous people that he was at war with on the eastern shore of America in Jamestown, Virginia. The Powhatan Indians, the Algonquin chief, more like a devil than a man, with some 200 more as black as him. Okay, look, and even more, Algonquin tribe. You see that some of y'all got family that look like this. Some of y'all may know people that look like that. Hold up, right here. These are Melungeon people. So these people are indigenous to the United States. The thing is, they're triracial. So when you look at them like they phenotype, you see, you may look at them like, oh, you see, like this dude right here. He has the phenotype of a Caucasoid, but the pigmentation of a Negroid, right? So they have Mongoloid, Negroid, and Caucasoid in them. Okay, they're called Melungeon. 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 And you know, this is what I classified myself before, but you know, I just say Aboriginal or Indigenous American or Autochthon. But yeah. So right here, right, we got to get into how America is Egypt and how we actually civilized and influenced Egypt. Okay? So I'm going to start with this picture right here, right? So you see how the Egyptians wear the Native American, like wear the feather on the head like a Native American, right? And you see Atum, right? This is Atum, the god Atum. He got his little, you know, feather on his head. Now that Egyptian symbol y'all be seeing, right? The little picture that people like to get tattooed on their chest. Sometimes with ISIS, they call this the you know, the winged sun disc and etc. You see right here, right? You type in Wachti, which is associated with the Washita or Wachita or Washo / MERS of the Americas. Okay, right here, you have an Australoid woman. Okay, an indigenous, Aboriginal Australoid woman. Now look at her phenotype. Remember I said the Aboriginal Americans come from Australia. Okay, look at her phenotype. Right now, look at these American women. Okay, American women that I'm about to show y'all right now. Now, some of y'all grandparents probably look like this, right? Now, look at these women. These are all American women. This is what an American female look like. An American Aboriginal, okay, indigenous melanated woman. This is what they look like. Okay, you see this phenotype everywhere. You see this phenotype. Didn't I tell y'all the people of America has the phenotype of every race, basically. Okay? You see they all look alike, right? And then look at some, I ain't put a lot of males, but look at this. You know, you got Kobe Bryant. You got these Somalis. Yes, Somalis and Ethiopians were and been in America since time. Alright, you got King Vine, you got this dude from the Mbuti tribe or Jehudi tribe, right? Now listen, and these people are Ethiopians. They're Afro-Asiatic. Tell me this don't look like spiritual soul. Get this dude some dreads and a do-rag. Dreads and a do-rag. Alright? But yeah, these people were in Egypt. Okay? Even moving down here, you can go check out this book if you want to know more about our history of the indigenous you know, Americans is called Signifying Indigenous by Marcia Stewart. Okay, you got our little figurines and our little artifacts over here in America of you know, inhabitants with Negroid features, as they would say. Right here, you got the Seminole tribe. I told y'all about the Seminole and the Gullah Wars and them murking, you know, our colonizers. They like to say these people ain't indigenous to America. Right here. Right here. You know, you got this skull right here. Listen. Geoarchaeologist and her colleagues at Liverpool John Moore University in England radiocarbon dated the skull. Okay, the analysis showed Pinyin woman, the third, is 12,755 years old, older than any known ancestor of modern Native Americans. Based on the skull comparison, Gonzalez announced in September she believed Pinyin woman the third was an ancestor of the Piriku. Okay, the Piriku, and this is the Piriku. 3 old women of the Piriku tribe, okay, that was native to the south end of the Beja Peninsula. They are now extinct. Hold up. Because I'm showing y'all these people, alright? Because I think so Illuminati from that tribe. But anyway, these right here are Incans. Okay? These are Incan empires. They're melanated. Right? They're melanated. Right here. I ain't even got a heart. I don't want to harp on nothing. Look at this. Right here you got the pre-Incans. You got Incans civilization compared to Egypt. Alright? So y'all can see the similarities. Y'all think it's similarities for no reason. Remember I told y'all Kemet was this whole planet. This whole planet was Kemet. That's why there's pyramids all over the place. It was a global civilization. Okay, remember Pangea, before the continents were separated. A lot of people don't believe in Pangea. Y'all think these continents was just sitting in these separated spots the whole time. That's not. Like y'all need to learn about continental drifting, okay, and tectonic plates. But right here you got the Mayans, okay, Maya, and I want y'all to know Mayans actually came from are linked to what's it called, Indians, actual Indians that you be seeing in matter of fact, they are linked to these people right here. But not only these people, the Aboriginals of India, but and these people right here. So we link to these people as well. But yeah, that's them. That's us. That's us. That's us. If you never heard of the Dreamtime, their spiritual story, you can look into that. The Aboriginal Dreamtime. But right here you have King Montezuma. Okay, Moctezuma the First, also known as Mateus Zomadzin, whatever, was the second Aztec. I ain't gonna disrespect your name. Mateus Zomadzin. Ilhui Camina. Hue Mote Tu Zoma. Anyway, was the second Aztec emperor. And 5th king of Tenochtitlan, during his reign, the Aztec emperor was consolidated. Major expansion was undertaken in Teno. You know what? I'm just showing y'all that Montezuma was dark. Okay, Montezuma was a dark Aztec king / emperor. Okay, that's him. So right here, you got even more Aztec, melanated Aztecs of Americas. Okay, then right here, I have to show y'all this because look, the Mayans and the Aztecs are the same people, and the Mayans and the Aztecs are descendants of the Olmecs. Okay, now the Olmecs created this calendar, and the Olmecs, and the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Egyptians use this calendar. Now, the Egyptians is a little different, but the Mayans, Aztecs, and the Olmecs used the exact same calendar. Okay. Excuse me. And then the Mayans and the Olmecs, remember this right here? I showed y'all a way to look at time and live. How do I say it? You know, in my what's it called? My first cosmic attention video, I put a little what's it called? I forgot what they called it, but it's basically you change the way you look at time, and the symbols for the way you for the way the time was, they was using these symbols. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. These are the Taino tribe, right? Now here we go. The Taino are an indigenous people of the Caribbean. At the time of European contact in the late 15th century, they were the principal inhabitants of most of Cuba, Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic and Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, and the northern Lesser Antilles. The Tainos were the first New World people to be encountered, okay, by Christopher Columbus during his 1492 voyage. Now, Tainos were actually said to be extinct, and they wanted to make these people not be, you know how they do. But yeah, the Tainos, like they're triracial basically. So these people are the natives who inhabited Puerto Rico as well. So, this is why the dialect of Spanish in Puerto Rico is a mix of English, Spanish, and an African language. And they're triracial. So, keeping it pushing. Now, I'm showing this because this is their form, this is their spiritual system, right? Now, I got this here because it sounds very, very familiar. Now, let's look at this. Atabi. This is their goddess. Atabi, correspondence. Goddess of fertility, origin, Caribbean Taino, Mother Earth. Other attributes, fresh water, earth spirit, twins. Okay, animal, fish, Larimar, is the crystal, Larimar, color, sea blue, copper. Okay, the creation story. Atabi created the universe in two sons. They were Yukahu and Guakar. Yukahu created life forms, okay? He wanted to make a life form that was as low, that was as low as an animal, was not as low as an animal, nor as high as a god. That's why he created humans. The first human created was Lakuo, okay? Lakuo. Guakar was envious of what his brother created. Now, who do this sound like? This sounds like Nama, Inki, and then Leo, right? Right. So it's the same story being told by every civilization. They're telling the same story, okay? Like I've been showing y'all since I've made my channel. Okay, anyway, Guakar changed his name to Jurakan. He became the god of strong winds. So this is Set. Guakar is Satan. That's in Leo. That's Set. That's Ogo. That's El. But anyway, he became the god of strong winds and other natural disasters. So, Set / Enlil, that's the god of storms, the sky, and chaos. So that is what this dude is. The winds would blow so hard, animals and planets would get killed. Jukahu created Zemis to help Lakuo. The first man and woman sprung from his belly. Their children populated the earth. Jurakan created evil spirits to torment humans. And so, people have to, if you don't know anything about tectonic plates and continental drift, I'm showing you a slide, share.net. You can type this in, tectonic plates, slideshare.net. Go look into it. I don't need to sit here and explain this. Right here, the Moors are telling you Mer is the ancient name of the original people of the earth based on ancient teachings of the indigenous people of the Wachita River Valley and its tributaries. The indigenous proprietary inhabitants of this part of the Americas recognize ourselves as Mers. Okay? Modern Western settlers in our land called us the lost race, the mound builders of Mu. Okay, now look, this dude right here, right? Because I just want to say something about the Emerald Tablets. This dude right here is a liar. He lies on all his work. Okay, you can go on this website. I ain't put the name, but you can type this in, whatever you see right here, and the website pop up. This dude is a liar. So I don't. The date for what he translated, basically, in the Emerald Tablets, right? Thoth himself said that Egyptians came from Atlantis. Okay, Atlantis was right here, and I quote, as you can see right here, I don't believe there was a land right there necessarily, but if you look at this picture, as you can see, Africa was connected to America. Okay, let's matter of fact, let's look at this.
In my first two videos on the topic of the lost city of Atlantis, I connected the dots on more than a dozen similarities between Plato's description of Atlantis to that of the Rekhat structure, which is commonly referred.
So you see this circle right here. Okay, you see this circle, these circles is multiple circles encased in other circles. Remember this picture.
Referred to as the Eye of the Sahara, and is located in a remote region of northwest Africa in the country of Mauritania.
Like I told y'all earlier, Mauritania.
And my argument in those videos was that these similarities.
I told y'all to keep that Eye of Sahara. Let me see something before I finish playing this. Right there, I told y'all keep what was a lake-filled, wet and fertile Sahara. Keep that in mind.
Are so numerous and so precise that the Rekhat structure should be considered.
Even though it's blurry, because YouTube been tweaking lately. Right here, you see these circles, right? You see this mass of land. You see this circle of land around it. You see the circle of land around it. Now, there's water in between each circle. Okay, there's water. So, it's supposed to be water right here.
As the most likely location for this lost ancient civilization. However, nothing is certain, and it is undoubtedly the subject of much debate. But if after watching those first two videos you still doubted the possibility that the Rekhat structure could be the location of Atlantis, well, in this video, I'm going to share with you some new details that I just came across that makes the case that the Eye of Africa is not just the most likely location of Atlantis, but the connection of these added details I'm about to share makes this case so compelling that it's practically definitive. So let me jump right into these details, and afterwards I'll connect the dots on everything so we can see exactly what we're dealing with here. Like I stated in my first video, the legend of Atlantis originates from the ancient Egyptians, and the Greek lawmaker Solon recorded this information while visiting Egypt some 2,600 years ago, and the information was passed down through 6 generations to Plato, who published the account of Atlantis in the Timaeus and Critias dialogues some 2,400 years ago, and is apparently the only reason why we know about the legend of Atlantis today.
Oh yeah, what I was about to say about the Emerald Tablets. In the Emerald Tablets, from his translation, from that dude's translation, he said, Thoth said that he built the Great Pyramid about 35,000 years ago, or whatever, and that Egyptians came from, Atlantis, which is between Africa and America. But I'm about to destroy that. Okay? But again, the date that he said, the date that was translated by the, what's his name? Hold up. Right here. This dude, Claude D. Dodgen, aka Dr. Maurice Doriel, in his translation, I already showed y'all the water erosion being tested on the Great Pyramid. And it dated, the 2 Ukrainian scientists dated the Great Pyramid to be 800,000 years old, based off of water erosion. Okay? So, what is he talking about? In all of his work, if we exclude in the Emerald Tablets, all his other work, he's putting lies and his own imagination in it. So,
Plato stated that the king of the capital of Atlantis was named Atlas, who was the firstborn son of Poseidon, and of course, like I mentioned before, Poseidon had 10 children through 5 sets of twins, and each one of those 10 children went on to rule each of those 10 kingdoms that made up the empire of Atlantis. Now, remember the name Atlas and hold that thought for a moment as I share something else that will connect the dots on this new information.
Right.
There is a group of people that used to be referred to as the Maori. However, in modern times, they are now known as the Berber people, which inhabit a region of northwest Africa. A region once referred to as Maori, but now known as Maghreb, which essentially makes up modern-day Numidia, Morocco, West Algeria, and Mauritania.
I just want y'all to know the word M-U-U-R refers to all. It refers to all of the Aboriginal tribes of the Americas.
In fact, the name Mauritania comes from the Maori people. Now,
so M-U-U-R is referring to people of America, and Moors, I mean not Moors, but Mers, okay? M-O-O-R, that's not necessarily the same as M-U-U-R, but in a way they are, but at the same, one is corporate, okay? And that's M-O-O-R, that's M-O-O-R. And you know, they got like a church, and the church is basically a company, and more actually refers to people from, I think, Africa and Europe, and M-U-U-R is America and Australia, etc. But whatever. You can look that up yourself. I just know it's not necessarily the same thing, okay?
does anyone happen to know the name of who was said to be the first king of Mauritania? Well, it was someone who just so happened to be named Atlas, the legendary king of the Maori people. What a coincidence. But of course, there could be no possible connection to Atlas, the king of Atlantis, because after all, there is simply no way that Atlantis could ever have been in the remote region of Northwest Africa. Now hold that thought for a moment too, as I share something else with you that you've likely never seen or heard of before. There was an ancient Greek man named Herodotus who lived some 2,500 years ago, who you may be familiar with as being known as the father of history, made famous for his documentation of the Greco-Persian Wars. Herodotus was born nearly 75 years after Solon had died, and again, Solon was the person who documented the story of Atlantis from the ancient Egyptians. Herodotus himself also died when Plato was just 2 years old.
Every book and video and everything I read, they are saying that Egyptians came from Atlantis. So Egyptians came from Atlantis. Thoth is an Atlantis priest king. Keep these things in mind. Egyptians come from Atlantis. Thoth comes from Atlantis. Thoth is also an Atlantean priest king.
So he never knew either of them, and subsequently died many years before Plato had ever published the account of Atlantis. One of Herodotus' notable achievements was developing what was then the most accurate mapping of the known inhabited world at the time of 450 BC. First, let's orient ourselves here. We can clearly see Italy, the Mediterranean Sea, the countries that surround it, the Caspian Sea, the Red Sea, the Nile Delta, to name a few notable features. And let me transition to a different version of the map so we can see things more clearly, but if you look to the left, what do you see there? That's right, the word Atlantis, which is shown to be located south of the Pillars of Hercules, or the Strait of Gibraltar, and positioned in northwest Africa. Let me first say that I do not know how or why Herodotus came to this conclusion, as this is something that I need to research more, but I look forward to any insight that people will be sharing in the comments related to his development of this map and why he claimed that Atlantis was in that specific location. You'll also notice on this map the detailing of a mountain chain just south of the Strait of Gibraltar, known today as the Atlas Mountains, which are also known to be home of the Berber people, which I mentioned earlier. And these mountains were in fact named after Atlas, the first king of Mauritania. You know, something else that's interesting to point out, when you research Atlas, the king of Mauritania, there seems to be no connection to Atlantis. I assume that this is related to the fact that nobody has ever considered that the location of Atlantis could be hiding in plain sight in the Western Sahara Desert in what is now Mauritania. Let me take a quick moment to thank John for leaving this outstanding comment, which brought the information of the first king of Mauritania, as well as Herodotus' map, to my attention, something that I was otherwise unaware of, and I suspect that goes to most everyone else watching this video. So let me clarify where we're at right now. There is a 2,500-year-old map that annotates the location of Atlantis in Northwest Africa, seemingly in the exact location of the Ricat structure. And this map was created by the so-called Father of History, a trusted source of documentation praised by modern-day historians for his ability to systematically document information in vivid detail. Then we have this mysterious and incredibly unique structure in Mauritania known as the Ricat. This structure just so happens to be made of concentric circles, just as Plato had stated. But not only that, it consists of the precise amount of rings, 3 that would be of water and 2 of land.
Right.
And on top of that, it just so happens to be the precise size of how Atlantis was described, measuring 23.5 kilometers or 14.5 miles across when computed in modern day measurements.
Right.
It also has an opening to the south that would match Atlantis' description of connecting to the sea, and in fact, its very appearance today seems to suggest that it did. It has mountains to the north, and not only that, the mountains to the north contained rivers. The entire area surrounding the Ricat is a large level plain. The sides of Atlantis were said to be steep towards the side of the sea, and the Adra Highlands located in this area have a steep 1,500-foot drop from cliffside to its base. Even more significantly, the center island of the Ricat produces fresh spring water, just as Plato specified, and this is despite the wells in the surrounding area producing exclusively salt water, which also is further evidence that this site was once under the ocean. The area around the Ricat has an abundance of black, red, and white color stone. And Atlantis was said to have an abundance of elephants, which elephants exist in Mauritania today, and depictions of elephants can be seen in cave art close to the Ricat structure. There are even relics including pottery shards, arrowheads, and other evidence that a civilization once lived there, yet archaeologists have no idea what civilization they belong to or when.
Atlanteans.
And all of this is in Mauritania, where people who were once known as the Maori people were led by a legendary king whose name was Atlas, the same exact name as the king of Atlantis. But on top of all of this, it just so happens to be in the exact location that is annotated on an ancient map that was created.
Alright. So I'm gonna flush the rest of that myself. So again, with America being Egypt, as you can see over here in Egypt, you got Memphis right here, and you got this you got the Nile Delta. Okay? Over here in America, you have Memphis, and you have the Mississippi River. Okay? Near the Mississippi River, you have a pyramid, and you have Ramses the Great. Over here, near the Nile Delta, you have the Great Pyramid near the Nile Delta. Okay? And the Great Sphinx near the pyramid. So, like, is identical. Okay? It's identical. So right here, right, there are these are some of the names Amexem has been called. Now, Amexem is America. Some call Africa Amexem. Okay, Mu, MRC, Maroc, Al Maroc, Northwest and Southwest Africa, North and South America. Okay, America is the prefix of Amexem. Okay. And the suffix of Africa, America, America, Al-Maroc, American, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American, etc. Right? So right here, this is from a book called something along the lines of. You can just type in what you see. It's something like ancient, mystic, Oriental masonry. Ancient mystic Oriental masonry. That's the book that this is from, right? America, Atlantis, as the curtain which has hitherto concealed the prehistoric connection between the people of ancient Egypt and of America is lifted, it will be seen that the people of the Eagle on the Nile, being descended from the original people of the eagle of this continent. The twain are one race, and that prehistoric America was the original Egypt or Eagle Land prior to the mighty dispensation. In the days of Peleg, when the earth was divided and the great globe itself was nearly rent asunder. Okay, anyway, right here, you can look at that right there. Corn is native to America. It is not native to Africa. So how did Africans get corn? If you go look at the temple of Hatshepsut, okay, there is corn being showed in her temple. Corn comes from America, and it's also been found in Babylon. It's also been found in India. So what I'm gonna explain this, but I'm still gonna ask the question: what is going on here? How do they have corn? The Kansas City Journal Monday. I ain't gonna read all of this. I don't think I am. Okay, I'm gonna start right here. It seems that Egypt was first peopled by immigrants from Yucatan. Okay, space will allow only a few facts that clearly indicate the truth of this assertion. First, the pyramids of Yucatan are some of the much larger than any found in Egypt. That of Cheops. Cheops is the Great Pyramid, by the way. They say a dude named Cheops built it. He didn't actually. Thoth built that pyramid. Thoth is also equivalent to Enoch. Enoch in Egypt is also called Soret, but Enoch is also considered a deity of writing. He's sit next to God or whatever. He is a god of he is a teacher. That's the same as Tahuti. He's a god of writing, speech, and teaching, knowledge, and wisdom. In Mesopotamia, he is the god of Enki. Okay? Excuse me, he is the son of Enki. Thoth is the son of Enki. In Mesopotamia, Thoth's name is Ningishida. In Mesopotamia, they say Ningishida built the pyramids. They say Enoch built the pyramids. They say Thoth built the pyramids. Thoth built them pyramids. Thoth built that pyramid, I mean. Thoth built that pyramid. Thoth built the Great Pyramid. Thoth built the Great Pyramid. Okay? Thoth built the Great Pyramid. Ningishida, a.k.a. Enoch, a.k.a. Thoth, a.k.a. Hermes, a.k.a. Mercury, built them pyramids. But anyway. Okay? We gonna skip to a second. The pyramids of Egypt bear structural evidence of having been modeled on those of Yucatan, notably of the one at Coloma, which covers 23 acres. Third, the early Egyptians and the Mayans in Yucatan have the same system of reckoning time, but the Mayans developed a system that was far superior, okay, and which antedates that of Egypt. Fourth, the Mayans manufactured a cement that was of the same material as the one in Egypt. Fifth, the architecture of Yucatan is the same general type as that of an ancient Egyptian. Okay, but it is finer and seems to have been the model that the Egyptians attempted to imitate. Sixth, the art of both countries, as displayed in their ceramics and architecture, is of the same type of or school that of Yucatan, being much more highly developed. Right here, look at this: Egypt and Ecuador. That's Egypt and Ecuador. They look alike, right? Then you got an Ankh over here in South America. Okay, right here, look at Zolato. Zolato is a god of fire and lightning. He was commonly depicted as a dog-headed man and was a soul guide for the dead, just like Anubis is a soul a guide of the dead. Right here, you have a Zolato, a Zolid. These words, man, Zoloid's Quintal. This dog is where you get Anubis. Okay, so Anubis was over here in America as well. This is him right here. This is Zolato. Okay, the dog is called a Zolid's Quintal. Okay, a Zolid's Quintal. Okay, Anubis is this Mexican dog right here. Okay, you see that? His name is Zolato. It's a guide of souls through the dead. Right here, you have Aztecs. And shout out to Sekhmet on YouTube for this picture. You see that right there, right? You see the similarities. You see them grabbing the the prisoner by the hair. You see them with the shields, right? Now, why am I showing this? Because Mayans were in Aztec, okay? Why do I say this? This person right here is a male. This person's name is Maya. And this person is over here in Egypt, as you can see. And if you look at the temple of Maya, right, he has on the ceiling the language of the Chichen Itza, okay, which is a Mayan language, okay? So Mayans were over there in Egypt. They civilized Egypt, okay? And they did commerce and trade together. So right here you have Quetzalcoatl. I already showed y'all before in a few videos that Quetzalcoatl is equivalent to Enki / Osiris, okay? So it's the same person. So right here you got him over here, and this is him in his American form. This is Quetzalcoatl. He got his cross, right? So he's the Christ being. Right here you see you got you got Jesus with his halo and his hands out, etc. I already told y'all the equivalent. I've explained him in so many ways. I've broke him down in so many ways. But anyway, right here you have life-size model of a pre-Columbian indigenous warrior in Costa Rica. Gold Museum. Ordinarily near albino mulattoes, join with albinos in hiding the obfuscation blacks in history. However, the Costa Ricans decided to depict the ancient natives accurately as blacks. Okay, but note what albinos have done to obfuscate this picture intended for dissemination. Now, if you look at this picture, right, they said this is a indigenous warrior in Costa Rica, right? So this is an indigenous Native American. But if you look at the attire, it looks similar to Egypt, does it not? So basically what I'm showing y'all, the Mayans, okay, civilized the Egyptians, okay? We influenced the Egyptians, okay? We helped them do what they did. We helped them become who they were, all right? Like that, the symbol is on our dollar. Right here you got Utah, aka Judah, aka Israel, aka Jerusalem, aka Haru Salim, okay, Haru as in Horus. Right here, this is. See, I could post many more maps. I could showing that certain countries were actually in America and not where you know, because the countries and whatnot, the names that they are now weren't the original names. But you know, I'm gonna keep it pushing right now. Some of Hobby Lobby's smuggled artifacts may come from lost Sumerian cities. Okay, may come among the 3,800 artifacts being repatriated, whatever, to Iraq today include pieces believed to be from Irasagrid, a site archaeologists have yet to find. Okay, they basically lying and saying that these artifacts don't come from here when they do. And plus, not only that, to add on to this, there is a Sumerian / Mesopotamian bird artifact or figurine that was found in America, that's in Ecuador, that looks exactly like that bird head deity from Mesopotamia. So you what is wrong with y'all? Sumeria, like what is going on with y'all? See, they trying to hide history, and this is why I don't rock with archaeologists and Egyptologists, because they lie too much. Okay, they lie too much. But listen, right here, right, we about to get into these maps. This is Turtle Island. Okay, this is America. This is what our people was calling the Americas, including Canada. So as you can see here, you can see all the indigenous tribes, and you can see a few of the First Nations up here in Canada. Canada is a part of North America. It's just called Canada. Okay, but yeah, right here, yeah, you see, as you can see, the Wichita, you got the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, you got the Apache, Zuni, Pueblo, and you got the Ojibwa, Ottawa, Huron. Okay, so, and you got the right here, we got to get back to this continental drifting and, you know, Pangea. It's more super continents than Pangea. You got Valbera, you got Kennerland, you got Gondwana, and etc. You got multiple supercontinents that existed before Pangea. But the thing is, on some of these, a few of these supercontinents, humans didn't exist, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, whatever. Right here, right, you got the continents put together, and as you can see, America and Africa fits perfectly. Perfectly together right here, and South America fits perfectly together right here. Okay, so I'm about to break this down. So remember, I told y'all the reason Upper Egypt is at the bottom and Lower Egypt is at the top is because the world map is turned upside down. So right here, you can find this map by typing Francis Irving map. Okay, everything is upside down. The north is really the south is really the north. So right here, right, we normally call Antarctica the South Pole, but really that's the North Pole. Okay, down here, the South Pole, where the North Star is, that's really the South Pole and the South Star. So let me show y'all, right? Proof of continental drift. 1.7 billion year old chunk of Canada found in Australia suggesting supercontinent. So they found a chunk of Canada in Australia. Okay, so basically what I have to show y'all, America is Atlantis. Okay, America is Atlantis. Right here you have an old map from 1669 by Nicholas Sanson, and it's showing you that Atlantis is in America. Right here you have Atlantis across North and South America. Okay, now let's come down here. Excuse me. Right here you have the Perry Reese map. So Perry Reese drew a map of Terra Australis Incognita. Okay, Southern Unknown Land, 1513. Okay, right here you have B. That's Antarctica as it would appear without ice caps. Okay, without the ice. So right here you got C, which is Atlantis as depicted by Patroclus Campanakis in 1891. So Atlantis, that's what Atlantis looked like. Right here you got Antarctica as it appears with the ice caps. Okay, indeed. So right here, this I've been telling y'all. I told y'all this before. Antarctica is Atlantis. Okay. But then when you start seeing stuff like the video I just showed you with the Eye of the Sahara, and then you seeing that pic right there where I'm showing you America is Atlantis, you may think like, okay, maybe Atlantis was global, or maybe it was in more than one country, more than one state, etc. That's correct. But at the same time, you gotta remember supercontinent before continental drift, right? These lands were together and they weren't just called separate names. It was all one big old land, right? So remember I said even Egypt / Kemet, okay? And the word Egypt is actually a Greek word which means bondage. Okay, that's why people in the Bible is said to have been in bondage when they went in Egypt. But when they was talking about Egypt, they wasn't always, if any, mainly was talking about America, because America is also Egypt. Okay? But look, and I'm not saying the whole world was a bondage place. I'm just saying Egypt as in the pyramidal advanced society. But anyway, right here you got Atlantis in South America. So again, right here you got South America and Africa being close together with the South Pole, India, Australia, and Antarctica right there, right? So that's Atlantis. That's the North Pole, right? So they say in different mythologies and etc. they say life came from the north. This is Atlantis. Right here you got Australia, which is where our Aboriginal brothers come from, our Aboriginal ancestors. So you got all these people who was coming from Antarctica, which is also where the gods were at. Okay, that's Atlantis. All the gods were right here in Atlantis. All of this was one big old landmass. So that little part of Africa that I was showing y'all, right, that was part of America too. But America, for the most part, is Atlantis, as I'm showing y'all here. Atlantis. Antarctica is Atlantis, and Antarctica was right here touching Africa and America, right? As y'all can see, and South America at first was touching Antarctica, but when you look at other maps, it's not touching, right? So keeping it pushing. Right here, as y'all know, Antarctica is under the hottest weather it's ever been, right? And it's melting this year, right now as we speak. And there's also a pyramid in the middle of Antarctica, which I've been telling you about, them 3 pyramids that's aligned with Orion. Now right here you have what we be calling the North Pole, which is really the South Pole. Okay, now I don't want this to confuse y'all, so pay attention. Right here in this map, which is a Mercator map, right here you have Eden, which is Mu, which is the Garden of Eden, which is up here. Okay, it's up here. It's up here. It's above North America. It's above us and not quote or under us, because this is really the South. Okay, remember. Right here, everything is upside down. Okay, everything is upside down. They lie. So this is up there. It's right there. As you can see, it's the same thing. It say Atlantis. Right here, Atlantis. Right here, it says America. So America, right here. America is Atlantis. Excuse me. And Hyperborea is Eden. And this is where the giants were at as well. So right here, you got Mu. Okay, I believe Mu is actually this part of the globe. Because this whole Mu thing, I don't necessarily believe this. But yeah, I believe that, where is it? Where we at? Antarctica was that little area right there. Was this area. And Atlantis was a part of Mu, by the way. So it's not just, Lemuria / Mu existed this time and Atlantis existed this time. They existed together and they were all a part of this one big landmass. So right here, you got it again. You got that little Eden MERU place up here at the top, which is actually the South. So the top is really the South. So that star Polaris, that's right there perfectly directly above that hemisphere, okay, that's really the South Star. Polaris is really the South Star. Okay, now the Indians, okay, as in Hindus over there in India, which is really Hindustan, okay, it's called Hindustan. They say Mount Meru is over in the North Pole. And that's if we call in the North Pole what mainstream scientists call the North Pole. That's really the South. So Mount Meru / Sumeru, okay, which is also another name for Sumeria, Sumeru. This is it. Right here. This is Eden Meru. This is the Garden of Eden. Okay, this is Mu. This is really the South Pole. This is where we came from. This is the cradle of civilization of man on the planet. Okay, Mu as in mother, Lemuria as in motherland. Okay, and really Mu, the word Lemuria came from lemurs, because lemurs are found down here in Australia and Africa and whatnot, right? And so let's go to this picture. Right here, these see when these was all connected. Remember, they were all connected. This land was connected to it. This land was connected to it. This land was connected to it. So you telling me every human only went to Africa? I don't agree with that. And so this Australia just sitting back here, and you saying it wasn't populated after we came and arose from this place right here. So anyway, yeah, the people started going all across the place, right? After they came from here. Now, let me say something. Let me look at this real quick. Okay, because South America is really North America. North America is really South America. Okay, Africa was a part of this. Okay, so there is no, you African and they African, African American. Ain't none of that. We Australoids / Americanoids, and I quote. So, let's see. I told y'all before, though, people were being genetically spliced all over the planet. Okay, that's why you got people on islands. Okay, you may wonder how these people get on these islands. No, it ain't always about maritime and traveling, seafaring. they were placed there, my guy. You got the Andaman tribe over there in the Indian Ocean, but we ain't gonna get into that. Right here, you got that South Star, like I was just talking about. Now, let's talk about the swastika, because I let y'all know that's not really a Nazi symbol. That's one of the most revered ancient symbols on the planet, which was used in damn near every continent. Okay, all our people was using it. Okay, all our people was using it all over the world, right? It represents the poles, the holes at the two hemispheres of the planet. Okay, the North and the South Pole, and I quote, right there. Okay, and so you see, when we go through each of the seasons, you see a dipper. You see all 4 dippers around the North Star, aka the South Star, aka Polaris. Okay, remember Earth be having pole shifts, so the poles be switching every couple 100,000 years. So it's a cycle. But yeah, the swastika represent this vortex right here, and remember this star is perfectly directly above this hole. So when you see these big dippers, it makes a like a swastika vortex around the North Star. Also, the North Star don't move really, but all the other stars and whatnot go rotate around it. But anyway, here's a map showing that India was also in America. This is called India Superior. Okay, India Superior. Okay, so this is why the Nagas and the Mayans, the Mayans and the Egyptians, the Mayans and the Indians actually have history together. Okay, the Indians call the Mayans, the Nagas, and the Denvas the same people. And they also say the Denvas are the Mayans. Okay, so the Mayans are possibly genetically, okay, and culturally related to those Indians. So maybe we are technically Indian in a sense, or in some way, shape, or form, actually Indian. And I just want y'all to know the Mayans, the Olmecs, and the Aztecs, you see them every day, and you are one of these tribes, etc. They all MERS, but what I'm saying is, they want you to think these people don't exist no more, right? But every day you are walking past them. Every day you're walking past a Mayan. Every day you walk past an Olmec. Every day you walk past an Aztec. Okay? The Naga Mayans. They call them the Naga Mayans. They said their land is called Mayach, which is America. That's us. We civilized the Egyptians. Okay, we civilized other places around the world. We help the Chinese and etc. You can see Mayan artifact / art over there in China as well. So India's superior. This is not the only map showing India in America. This is a 1548 Spanish road map from the book Journey of Coronado. Okay. It is also showing India here. You see these Indians with similar outfits as the Mayans. Okay? And speaking of Mayans, Quetzalcoatl came over here in America and helped civilize the Americans. And he gave them serpent wisdom. Remember that. Okay? Also, it's showing Asia in America. Okay? It's showing Asia in America. This is a Ornatius Fine map from 1531. Asia in America. Okay, so I'm showing my people, and I gotta wake y'all up and help y'all realize who y'all are with this video. All right, because this video, anyway, now you know when every civilization, including the Bible, talking about God fashioned humans, right, from clay. From my own research, I've come to this conclusion that clay is actually stromatolites, which are different buildups of like bacteria and whatnot that they say contains the most ancient information of ancient life. Excuse me. Okay, so it says stromatolite, a calcareous mound buildup of layers of lime secreting cyanobacteria and trapped sediment found in Precambrian rocks as the earliest known fossils and still being formed in lagoons in Australia. So people see it's like right here. because we were the first to emerge from the state of noon, which is also where you get the story of Noah. Okay, we ain't gonna get too deep into that. The waters of life in the heliopolitician creation myths. If you are a person and you want to know more about religion and whatnot, I got a playlist called Extirpating. I think I called it Extirpating Religion, but you can go check out my 2 previous long 5-hour lectures where I'm exposing Saturn, okay, that pertains to religion, and the one where it says eradicating the Bible, which also pertains to religion, where I'm destroying religion beyond anybody on this planet. Anyway, in the heliopolitician creation myth, Atum was considered to be the first guy having created himself, sitting on the mound Bin, like the tall Bin stone I showed y'all that used to point to Atum, okay, or identified with the mound itself. For the primordial waters knew, hence the Watchtower are the mound builders. Bin, okay, Bin Ikadu. Benbenu Ikadu. So is this the clay that the gods were fashioning humans out of? Right here, and you can even see. Okay, I ain't put the I don't think I put the picture in here, but the oldest what's it called? The oldest stromatolites were found in Australia. Okay? So again, alright, oldest stratolites were found in Australia. So stromatolites, the original producers of oxygen and oldest fossils encoding the mysteries of deep life. Now listen, stromatolites are considered the most intriguing fossils that are our window into deep time on Earth, the emergence of life, and the eventual evolving of the beautiful life forms from Cambrian to modern time. In broad terms, stromatolites are fossil evidence of the prokaryotic life that remains today. As it has always been the preponderance of biomass in the biosphere. They maintain and recycle the atomic ingredients upon which proteins that all life are made, including oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. We humans are, in simple terms, bags of water filtered with proteins and prokaryotic bacteria. We humans have descended from organisms that adapted to living in a prokaryotic life. And we humans conserve in evolutionary terms, in our mitochondria, the cellular machinery to power. Okay? Stromatolites are layered excretionary structures formed in shallow water by the trapping, binding, and cementation of sedimentary grains by biofilms of microorganisms, okay, especially cyanobacteria, commonly known as blue-green algae. They include some of the most ancient records, okay, of life on Earth, and they existed around the flood too. Okay, so were they using this bacteria to fashion human bodies? Is this the clay that every civilization is talking about? Now, right here, I don't want to get too deep into this, but this is the out of Australia. This is the out of Australia thesis, okay, and it kind of blows the African out of Africa, in that quote, out of Africa theory out the water, and it makes more sense and is much simpler. While they're trying to say every black person descends from Africa, okay. Now you can go read this. This declaration, okay, was regarded as the final word in the resolution of 15 years of disagreement between two branches of science. Wilson and Can triumphantly proclaimed victory on behalf of the molecular geneticists, declaring that we won the argument when the paleontologists, okay, admitted we had been right and they had been wrong. With the case closed, okay, and bragging rights secured in perpetuity, science had once again provided certainty and an African ancestry, okay? Or so it seemed, but not long after their paper was published, Rebecca Can realized they were mistaken. In 1982, she examined the mitochondrial DNA of 112 indigenous people, including 12 full descent Aboriginals, and the results were in total opposition to what they assumed was fully resolved. Nevertheless, Kant was obliged to contradict a central tenet of their paper, stating that mitochondrial DNA puts the origins of Homo sapiens much further back and indicates that the Australian Aboriginals arose 400,000 years ago from two distinct lineages far earlier than any other racial type. Not only was the emergence of Aboriginal Homo sapiens far earlier than any African, she provides a sequence of motherland. You can go on this website. Okay, this is the Out of Australia thesis. Okay, Australia is the name given by the British to the continent in the southern hemisphere of around 600 nations. Okay, you can go check this out. Okay, this is Hollow Earth. I ain't got too much to say about Hollow Earth because I've been talked about this, but you know, we all know it's the 8th continent, or should I say 7th continent, because Europe is really part of Asia, so that's really one continent called Eurasia. Inside the Earth, we have a 7th continent called Agartha. Some call it Shambhala. You see Shambhala right there, which is where Osiris was, /Enki /Quetzalcoatl. So, you know, it's people living in there, and here's a map of different places around the planet, you know, with entrances and cave entrances and etc. that has holes and whatnot that can lead you into the inside of the Earth. And again, right here is a hole at the hemisphere of the Earth, at the north hemisphere of the Earth, okay, that you could possibly go into if the ice cap ain't there. Now, Admiral Byrd said that extraterrestrial or whatever, extraterrestrials took him in here, but we ain't gonna get into Admiral Byrd in this video. Right here, you got different depictions from different civilizations of what the Earth looked like. Now, again, I told y'all, let me show this. Let me show this before I say something. Let me show that. We gotta show this again. Now, I done told y'all, right? If you believe the Earth look like this, if you believe the Earth look like this, if you think it look like this, that means
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find...
We start with a point. Like the point.
Now pay attention again, because I showed this already. Now, he's showing different dimensions and levels of consciousness. Okay, I'm gonna show you the level of consciousness of a person that think the Earth, okay, the entire Earth is flat.
Two-dimensional creatures called flatlanders. What would it be like to be a flatlander living in their two-dimensional world? A two-dimensional creature would have only length and width, as if they were the royalty on an impossibly flat playing card. Picture this. A flatlander couldn't possibly have a digestive tract because the pipe from their mouth to their bottom would divide them into two pieces. And a flatlander trying to view our three-dimensional world would only be able to perceive shapes in two-dimensional cross-sections. A balloon, for instance, would start as a tiny dot, become a hollow circle which inexplicably grows to a certain size, then shrinks back to a dot before popping out of existence. And we three-dimensional human beings would seem very strange indeed to a flatlander. Imagining the third dimension is the easiest for us, because every moment of our lives, that's what we're in.
So look at this, because that's not it.
We can pretend that the ant is a flatlander, walking along on a flat two-dimensional newspaper world. If that paper is now folded in the middle, we create a way for our flatlander ant to magically disappear from one position in his two-dimensional world and be instantly transported to another. We can imagine that we did this by taking a two-dimensional object.
This how y'all traveling on y'all flat Earth?
And folding it through the dimension above, which is our third dimension. Once again, it'll be more convenient for us as we imagine the higher dimensions if we can think of the third dimension in this way. The third dimension is what you fold through to jump from one point to another in the dimension below. Take a long strip of paper, add one twist to it.
So you see how he twisting it, right? He about to travel along this paper as if he was a roller coaster or he was like Hot Wheels cars.
Take the ends together and draw a line down the length of it Our line will eventually be on both sides of the paper before it meets back with itself.
So anyway, yeah, that's the consciousness of a person who believes the earth is built like that. So let me explain how that is wrong, okay? So I just showed y'all maps of the earth. I'm showing y'all how the civilizations believe the earth looked, or how they were described, right? This is ancient cosmology. All of them believed it was half like a spear type of deal, right? Like I explained in one of my videos. Except I didn't realize I drew the sun inside the Earth's Van Allen belt. I didn't mean to put that there. But look. So this is the shape of the Earth, right? And this is even in Dragon Ball Z, okay? It's all three a globe, okay? It's a globe. It's a globe. It's a spherical globe, right? But underneath the electromagnetic field / Van Allen belt, okay, / the firmament at the top, okay, you got the flat plane. It's not even necessarily flat. It's the earth part of the earth. It's the earth part of the globe, okay? The earth part of the globe is what would be considered flat. But even that is not perfectly flat, because even our streets and our roads are not perfectly flat. But you get what I'm saying. The earth part of the globe is what would be the flat land, okay? The mass, the land mass. But the water, you can't say that's flat. Like right here, to an extent, because right here is technically in a way flat because it's like that, but it you know. But what I'm saying is basically inside of the bottom part would be where the seventh continent is. So where is that? You see this model, right? Okay, matter of fact, let's use this model. Pretend this is the rest of the earth, because this is just a flat disc. That's bull crap, okay? That's not how the earth is shaped. Okay, you got the land mass that's under it, right? Then you got water in here as well. But underneath earth is like a land mass, okay? Land mass. That's the inside of the earth. Then you got water all over under us. But right here, this flat part would be just the earth. Only the earth part would be represented as flat. Then you got the water, so it's like hollow, flat here, and the whole thing is spherical. Okay? So again, the plane would be considered flat. There's water under, and then there's land mass, like there's land mass underneath. And then you have a whole spherical, planet. It got the firmament on the top and the landmass at the bottom. Okay, part of the landmass and water at the bottom. Okay, so remember, the earth is like half empty, half full. So remember, Satan split the seas, like it say in the Bible, but it's not interpreted the way the Bible is explaining it. The prince of air, Satan, okay, split the seas, and that's why we don't live in water anymore. Life comes from water. That's why all the animals, some of the animals on the dry surface of the planet are living on the dry surface of the planet. They came from water. The original snakes are the eels. The original insects like spiders and scorpions are the crabs, lobsters, and other crustaceans. You got sea monkeys, sea dogs, sea cats, or whatever. I'm probably just making up names, but I already explained this in video. Like, all the animals really come from, the water. Catfish. We got all these animals. Some of these animals that's up here, we have in the water. We have them in the water. So, seahorses, regular horses, we got them all under the water. Okay, so again, Earth, this whole thing used to be full of water. Even look into the story of Tiamat. Okay, look into the story of the cataclysm that happened in Earth. In this solar system. Okay, so it's all three. Okay, the land mass would be flat. Okay, the bottom part, this is the hollow part. There's water and hollow land under here. And then you got the air and you got the firmament at the top. And it's the Van Allen belt. Okay, so if you try to come out of it, you're going to die from the radiation. And there's videos of people shooting missiles up here and they seeing the missile hit something that's not there. So there has been a firmament there. Okay, so again, it's all three: flat, hollow, and round. Okay, flat, hollow, and spherical. You cannot sit here and say the whole earth is flat and try to get people to come down to your 2D state of consciousness, and we end up going backwards in our reincarnation cycle or something like that. That's the mind of a flatlander. But if you look at Earth from the top, right, looking at the flat landmass or the flat plane, okay, I kind of believe this right here, because the whole Earth, you see how they got North Pole around it? That is Atlantis. This whole thing is going to look like Atlantis. Remember, then you got the middle. This will be MERU, the motherland. And then the Earth is supposed to be around it. So it would be that circle, like them circles like Atlantis. The Earth's mass around it. Then you got Antarctica, which should be melted. Okay, and then you got the South Pole. It's not no edge of the, Earth type of thing. We can't even go this far into Antarctica. So it may a part of the, you may see part of the firmament right here. You probably gonna look off of the Earth if you go right here. But I don't think you can fall off of this. But anyway, yeah. Then right here, you got the Earth Kundalini. So yeah, right there. All of these, you see they got the pyramid / mountain in the center of the Earth. That's Mu. There's a mountain at Mu, just like I just read to y'all and showed y'all. Okay, with Mount Meru. Okay, Mount Meru. There is supposed to be it's a mountain right there. So in the South Pole or North Pole, that's really the North Pole. But anyway, yeah, let's keep it pushing. Now these are Dogon brothers and our Mayan brothers. Okay, West Africa, the Dogon people in Mali mapped, okay, with precision the Sirius star system hundreds of years before NASA invented a power telescope in the 1970s, through which at last they were able to see the same thing. The Dogon had been 100% correct without the use of technology. Okay, and there's an episode, I think that's National Geographic's, whatever channel it is, right? You can look this up on YouTube. The Dogon knew that there was an invisible star rotating Sirius before our scientists knew. And our scientists ain't believed them until they actually found it out themselves. So the Dogon are actually people who come from the stars. Okay, I'm pretty sure they remember their past lives. They like to remain private and secluded and isolated from the world because they're peaceful people. But anyway, further to this, okay, the Dogon insists there is also a Sirius B further away from a way that NASA still cannot locate. Okay, then you come down here. The Mayans made significant discoveries in science and writing, including the use of the zero in mathematics. Their calendar begins around 5,000 years ago and could measure time well into the future. And they already knew it was in the end times. They knew we was in the end times. And they knew that the world could end at any minute. You got people walking around all over the place, actually, who are aware that it's the end time. But, most of them are followers of the Bible. And they're going to call it, we're living in the book of Revelations. Just like I've been saying, but still, the origins of religion, astrology, and astronomy, let me move this, frustratingly sparse and not helped by the Middle Ages policy of book burning. Fray Diego de Landa, second bishop of the Yucatan, ordered a mass destruction of Maya books in 1562, and only 3 survived. The libraries of Alexandria were also systematically destroyed to erase access to history and science, which was seen to be in competition with Orthodox faith. Now, why do all our stuff get burnt up? Why do all of our stuff be getting burnt up? They burnt up the Gnostic texts. They burnt up some of the Egyptian texts. They burnt up some of the Mayans. Why is they destroying stuff? Like we were master scientists. We trying to be on the same wave in this era of time. You got people who don't believe in astrology, yet astrology pertains to the body as well. Okay, there is psychology in astrology, and so the school systems don't emphasize on astrology. And so you got people who say things like, "Oh, you believe in the alignment of the stars," or etc. or you think you act like that based off the alignments or blah blah blah. And people don't understand energy. They don't understand transmutation of energy. They don't understand esoterics or mysticism. It's just crazy. All of us are under the influence of astrology, but keeping it pushing. All of our ancestors practiced astrology. Right, because right here you got the Dogon. The Dogon be up there drawing astrological objects and cosmogony in the sand without the use of technology. They don't need technology to know what's going on because they be astral projecting and they know that they came from up there. Alright? So, yeah. And you can use astral projection, you know, for it to gain information that you can't get, you know, in the physical realm. Or you can't find in books. Or you can't find online. You see this? You see the greatness of the Dogon tribe? Okay? You know they helped civilize America down there in the South? The sacred cross of Constantine, okay, the symbol for the Christ. All right, and then you got Olmec heads. You got people trying to fight over who these really are, saying it's not black people, it's the Native Americans because of the features. And you know they put Native American pictures next to the features, next to the Olmec heads. But y'all gotta ask yourself where y'all got them features from. Y'all got them from MERS. Y'all got them from Aboriginal indigenous people. And so these Olmec heads are not Native Americans. They're Aboriginal, indigenous, autochthonous Americans. Okay? They're autochthonous Americans. Okay? And these Olmec heads are older than what they've been carbon dated. Almost everything that they carbon date is about older than what they really say it is. Which is why I believe gyneology is the future of dating artifacts. But yeah, these are all Negroid. Okay, these are Olmec heads with negritic features. This is the one I was talking about that got sent to Africa as a gift. Okay, then let's get into the giants. You know, the giants of ancient Egypt. Part 2, physical evidence of the giants. Now, these, see, you got them on the hieroglyphs, right? You see this little person right here, and you see this giant dude. You got giants right here. You got giants right there. You got giants in Sumeria. You got giant coffins right here. Giant Egyptian coffins. Then, right here, I think the most giants is probably in the Americas. Look at this. This is all up in America. All of these places that giants have been reported in just North America alone. And I've been telling y'all this. I've been telling y'all you know, giants being found all over the Americas. And so this is how tall the you know, the bodies they've been found in, you know, have been. Look at this, 36 feet. What? Look at this. Look. Do you see this? They was talking about giant creatures, they're giant humans. They're giant humans. And they were working with us. They was picking us up and helping us across seas and etc. I mean, granted, there was some of them actually eating humans. But you know, we was working with these giants. I don't believe all of these giants were actually demonic. You know, they talk about the Nephilim and the giant spirits getting killed. But anyway, over 60 canyons over here in the Grand Canyon. And you know, some of them are actually temples with Egyptian and Hindu, you know, artifacts in them. They found a lot of Egyptian, like, artifacts out here in the Grand Canyon. This is in America. So, like I'm saying, ancient Tamari Egyptians, Hindu Naga deities, and the Grand Canyon, okay, aka the Tower of Ra. They call it the Tower of Ra. This is in America. The Hopi, Sioux Nation Indians still use a large number of the original Tamari Egyptian words in their language. The Hopi Indians told Grand Canyon Park Rangers that this was the Tower of Ra. See, you got Hopi using some Egyptian words. That don't mean the Hopis are Egyptian, my guy. So, look, Tower of Ra, the National Park Service will not allow any excavation of the MERU pyramid temples. Now, Tamari, right? Tamari is also another name for America, okay? And people say You know, the word America comes from Americo Vespucci. It does not. It comes from different things actually, but Amuru is a Sumerian god, which is where America come from. America also come from the Incan word Amaruca. Okay, so you can't be saying it came from Amerigo Vespucci. That is just a coincidence. Okay, but yeah, you got these were also found in America. These Egyptian hieroglyphics were found in America. These Egyptian little coffin artifacts were found in America. Okay, this was found in Illinois. Egyptian mortuary statuette found in Illinois. Get off my screen. Right here you got Moors of Mauritania and Tamari, like I said, by Iron Leon. Because you were enslaved by the albinos, they took away your original name, your nationality, and your history. They dropped your ancient ancestral name, Mer, and called you a black. What is a black? Black is an adjective, not a noun. I already told y'all what black means in Old English. Look at a little English grammar. Okay, nouns are names of people and things. Adjectives describe a noun. Mer is a noun. Black is an adjective. Okay. Ancient names for Egypt was Tamari. Tamari misspelled. Tamari means land of the Mers. Mauritania in Africa means land of the Mers. Morocco, land of the Mers. Okay, Marrakesh means house of Kush and the Mers. Chinese comes from China. Japanese come from Japan. Indians come from India. Syrians come from Syria. Where is your black from? Can you show me the black land outside of slavery? Can you show me Blackistan on the map? Keep on being black since it works for you. I am an Asiatic Mer from ancient Mauritania. Okay? They're in West Africa before BC and in this AD. Okay, so when they were combined, you know, Africa and, you know, America, I doubt that it was called Mauritania or they were even calling that Africa. Like, it was one land. And that part that broke off, that's Mauritania. Mauritania is also in America. Mauritania was also in America. It's just not on the map. It's a lot of things that ain't on the map anymore that was in America. Grenada, which is the promised land of the Bible, was in America. Okay? Monk Mound, Illinois. This pyramid was made of soil and clay, 100 feet high, 955 feet long. And then you got all of the places in America, you know, that got mounds and pyramids. Natural pyramids, built pyramids, other mounds, etc. You see that? All of these places, you feel me, with pyramids. All over the Americas. All over the Americas. All over the Americas. Look at that. All over the Americas. So anyway, we almost done here. Look at this. Pyramid, 30,000-year-old Bosnian pyramid of the sun, because civilization only began 10,000 years ago. And you know, that's the thing about carbon dating. Okay, the carbon dating go back, a lot of things go back only 6,000 years. That's about the main time frame that they like to use, because Caucasoids came into existence 6,000 years ago. So that is why when you look at artifacts and civilizations and you see they only go back to like 1,000 BC, 2,000 BC, 1,500 BC, and you probably be like, what, I thought this was probably 10, 20,000 years old. We've been here longer than this and such and such. Yes, because they're lying about the dates. They carbon dating only go back about 50,000 years old. Humans have been on this planet for millions of years. What you mean carbon dating only go back 50,000 years old? My history go back further than that. Okay? So that's why I don't trust carbon dating. And right here, again, I'm showing this again, because I showed this in my Eradicating the Bible video. Two Ukrainian geologists asserted that the Great Egyptian Sphinx was 800,000 years old based on their own research by testing the water erosion. Okay, these two people were named Vyacheslav I. Menashev and Alexander G. Parkhamenko. Okay, and this was called, the study was presented at the International Conference of Geoarchaeology and Archaeomineralogy held in Sofia, titled Geological Aspect of the Problem of Dating the Great Egyptian Sphinx Construction. And it's also said that the Egyptian Sphinx and pyramids were built around the same time, so the pyramid has to be around 800,000, if not. Some say 90, some say 30. I think it was built around the same time as the Sphinx. And right here, here's the source. This is part of the article. It's actually a PDF. Okay, you can go read that. Okay, or you can look this up. Type in what you see here. All right, or you can type in the the link. But look it right here. The Great Sphinx and the Great Pyramid survived the deluge / Great Flood. That's right. That's why it got water erosion. The Great Pyramid of Giza is located at the exact center of Earth's landmass. It's right there. So let's talk about continental drift. Is Africa like grounded? Is it stuck right there? Because if we separate it and whatnot, and that's in Africa, let's say Africa drifted. It didn't drift and the pyramid just magically got into the center of the earth. So Africa may have not moved at all, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. But keeping it pushing, this is the biggest pyramid on the planet, and it's called Cholula, and it's over here in America. Alright? North America, the real North America. What we call South America, but really is North America. But yeah. So I debunked Lemuria in Atlantis. Okay, Atlantis is just about the whole planet, but the Atlantis we always hearing about, that's Meru Eden is the center. That's the South Pole, which is really, yeah, that's the South Pole. And even that little map right here, did it correctly. Let me show you. This little map right here, you see how it's in the center of all the landmass? That's Meru. See, they called it the South, even though scientists call it the North. I just got done telling y'all it's the South. So Meru, which is what we call the North Pole, is really the South Pole. Okay, and Antarctica is really the North Pole. Okay, and that's Atlantis. This is only part of Atlantis. Then you got the Earth's landmass, which would complete the circle. Okay, the second circle or whatever. So I do believe there are pieces of our landmass under the water. They found an 80-mile city off the coast of Mexico under the water. Excuse me, off the coast of California under the water, and other cities and civilizations and whatnot underwater. So there are pieces of our landmass missing, and as you can see right here, right? Boom. You see these land masses aren't necessarily connected to these land masses the way they're supposed to be, like this one as well, because they all supposed to be connected to that land mass. Even with this one, boom, they're not connected to this land mass like they once were. They are separated and drifting away from Antarctica. So, and obviously they're not together like they once were. Okay, we have multiple different supercontinents. Okay, let me see something right here. The tomb of Osiris, discovered blackened structure, was built to present Egyptian god of death's mystical resting place. Now this is a deity. This is Quetzalcoatl. This is Enki. This is Osiris. He has a tomb on this earth. Yeah, nobody in the Bible has a tomb, coffin / sarcophagus. And he was black. He was melanated. They call him the Great Black One. My screensaver on my phone is literally a picture of him with black skin. But anyway, right here you got inside the. This is in Egypt, right? Now I want y'all to realize with us being advanced in the ancient times, we were so advanced, we were using electricity, we were using wireless power, we were creating light bulbs, we were geometrically constructing things with the earth, with nature. You see right here, right? These three pyramids that's aligned with Orion's belt, they are like a motherboard. So scientists are reverse engineering ancient technology to create things, just like with certain aircrafts, just like with certain other technology. They're reverse engineering our stuff, our technology, our ancient, our ancient science. So even Tesla, Nikola Tesla electric oscillator, Egyptian he also was inspired by the great the way that technology was used to make the Great Pyramid, and how it was an electric pyramid. Pyramids are also healing chambers. Okay, you can create a pyramid, use copper and a crystal or a couple crystals. Make sure you're using copper, because copper is a conductor of electricity. And stop wearing, them fake golden beads in your hair. Buy you some buy you some copper wire and make you some ornaments to put on your dreads and your braids and whatnot. Or you can even buy you some gold wire and I make rings with copper wire. Okay, I make hair ornaments with copper wire. I don't use them fake gold, beads that change color in your hair. I got some, but I don't use them. You get me? So, they're conductors of energy, sun energy, and electricity. So you're absorbing more energy in your hair if you put in, little copper wire, wrap it around your hair, or make you a ring with it. Grab you a few strings, wrap them around each other, do a design, or look up a video how to make, stuff with copper wire. You can be creative with it, and you can put it in your hair. You can get you some actual real gold wire, which don't cost too much, or you can get you some copper wire, which don't cost too much, period. But yeah, they was out here using electricity back then. And so when they see, look at that, little Wi-Fi symbol. Okay, little, what they call it, a ping symbol. This right here look like something that's projecting the holograph. But, we aligned the pyramids all over the world, okay, with Orion, the Orion star constellation. Not only that, these three sets of pyramids also align with each other to make the alignment with Sirius. So you got 3 sets of pyramids over here in America that align with the 3 sets of pyramids over there in Africa that align with the ones in Eurasia, and they all align with Orion. So yeah, we got pyramids at the center of the 2 hemispheres. We got a pyramid at the center of the Earth's landmass in America. We were so technologically, astrologically, spiritually inclined, okay, and was using sacred geometry, okay, and natural energy from the earth and the sun, okay, and creating things and building civilizations all over the planet. Not just all over this planet, but on other planets we got pyramids. This is Mercury. This is pyramids on Mercury. Okay? We're not just global people, we're universal people. Okay? Like I said, we came from we're star people. Look at that. Pyramids on the moon. Pyramids on the moon. They gonna say these are just anomalies or pareidolia. They'll look at that's too structured like a pyramid for that just to be an accident or just to have. They built that. Okay, Egyptians was cutting cinder blocks with light. They were cutting cinder blocks with light. They were making things float using acoustic levitation and telekinesis. You got to remember, back then, they were so civilized. Right now, us compared to what we are, with the whole world being programmed with stuff they don't need. People fell in consciousness as opposed to, how we were in ancient times. But, right here, you even got pyramids on Mars. Okay? We got pyramids on Mars. All right? So we're a universal people. You even got a skull right here that look like the what's it called? Pacaba skulls, you know the elongated skulls I'm talking about. That they say come from like a native tribe, but really I found out that tribe DNA got traced back to the Middle East. But y'all know what I'm talking about, the long head skulls. Now, listen. That's it. That's pretty much it. You feel I'm done. I'm probably ain't gonna make another video for a while. You know, I'm taking a break. But you know, I want y'all to keep y'all vibration high. You know, take care of yourself. The gods are back. We the gods. Alright? DomUniverse taking off. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. We family. Alright? Let's get it. Time to activate our DNA. Get all the toxicity out of our life, out our body. You know, time to do some shadow work. Alright? Time to get yourself right. If you gotta stop talking to everybody, do it. Do it for you. Alright? So that you can, you know, be around other people. It's just like when people say, you know, you can't love somebody unless you love yourself. You gotta work on yourself. You know, this is why some of y'all are actually antisocial. Because it may be something going on with you. Why you don't like being around other humanoids. Why you don't like conversation. Why you can't hold a conversation. Besides the fact that you sit in your room and wank. Because that make you have a hard time socially interacting with people. So anyway, yeah. Take care of yourself. I love y'all. Get y'all brain power up and go cop you some Ormond / white powder gold / you know, monatomic gold. Okay? Time to bring your consciousness back up. Alright? Y'all, I just want to say something that I be thinking about. You know, sometimes we see a lot of skeletons, mummies, and, you know, all type of skulls and whatnot. Y'all ever think about, like, what if y'all ever seen a picture of a skull and that skull, or ever seen a pic of a skeleton or mummy, and that pic or skeleton mummy was actually your body from a past life? Y'all ever thought about that? Y'all ever thought about that? Anyway, yeah, I love y'all. I'm out of here. DomUniverse taking